Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this?
Four teams remain in the European Winter Cup, but only one of them can be crowned champions. Team Liquid, Quadrant, Oxygen, and Carmine Corp all will take to the field, and we will get to see some amazing Rocket League action in only just 30 minutes time. I'm Shogun, joined by Johnny, who's wearing the exact same shirt as me, Cole, and the birthday boy himself, Stumpy Goblin.
Hello,
Happy
mate.
birthday, mate. Dangerous question. How old are you now, mate?
I'm 28. I'm
Wow.
so incredibly old, but I'm not actually the oldest on this desk because two people, Johnny's like 40 odd, and Cole, I think, has just hit the magic 3-0.
No, I haven't yet.
So congrats.
No, you're
That's
wrong.
really awesome,
Next.
actually, but thank you very much. Everybody just give me a compliment for my birthday, please.
Your drawing was amazing last time.
Thank
Last
you.
time.
That means a lot.
Last time.
Almost as bright as your shirt.
Oh.
Ooh.
You are stunning and talented and funny and witty, and I can't imagine life without you.
Cringe.
Loser!
Loser.
Okay, well, very positive vibe for us to start today. It's a little
So he
bit
doesn't
weird to
trust
go
it. That's
through.
the thing. I know he doesn't trust it.
Let's take a look at where we are at in the season so far. As we all know, we have 3 majors that we are working towards. One of them down, the second one coming up very, very shortly. That is what all of these teams are playing for, and a lot of scenarios for us to get through later on regarding certain matches that have a lot of implications. But at that very bottom of your list there is the big one, the one that everyone is trying to work towards, the RLCS World Championship. We only do one a year now, and we felt how prestigious that change ended up being last time around. Cannot wait to get there, and I'm sure the team's very much the same, and they're having to do an awful lot of amazing plays in order to get to that spot. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday, shall we? Because it was all best of 7, all these teams wanting to get into that major spot, and we started off, Cole, with a very important one when it came to major implications.
Yeah, and major implications were important, and also the fact that all of us, I believe, predicted Team Liquid to win this one. But I don't think any of us thought it would be this simple. They
There was a
blitzed
lot of 4-3s.
Moist. Yeah, there were 4-3s all over the place. This was a huge 4-0 for Team Liquid, who, as last time, are getting better as the split wears on. Certainly question marks are starting to emerge for Moist. It's a worrying time for them with Juicy in. It started off pretty good,
Okay,
but
Stumpy,
seems to be
here you
going
go.
backwards.
Just brag.
Quadrant are so good! Quadrant are so good!
Happy
They got me
birthday.
the point! My
believe
guy, Cash, the man, the beast, the cannon, managed to smash through Vitality. It was a 4-2. Vitality got lucky by getting 2 games off
Second
the
best
boys
team.
in luminous green. Quadrant were fantastic. Johnny is absolutely moulding when we came off
Nonsense.
this. Like, he's been so upset.
Honestly, Quadrant are lucky they got Vitality on their worst day. I think Alpha, worst day of, I don't know, probably
His
over
miss
a
was
year.
really good. What do you mean?
But hey, to be fair though, Quadrant actually played quite well.
Speaking of quite well, Williams Resolve have been playing pretty well this event. You know, they surpassed expectations, making it into the quarterfinals with a 3-2 versus Sir. And then against Oxygen, again, it's solid from them. They have their moments, Williams Resolve. I really hope this team stick together and continue to improve under the tutelage of Tadpole as well, because they're an expansive, fun team to watch.
They're also like actually quite scary at times too, where like you think that they're not gonna go for a simple play, but then they go for something that feels like a world championship team. So yeah, looking forward to see where they go. And a team that really I felt not overperformed, but got to a level that none of us really expected. German Amigos. What on earth were they about yesterday?
They're so fun.
They were going crazy.
They're eliminated now. They kind of got a bad bracket there facing Carmine Corp before the grand final. They just make every grand final in regionals, so unlucky to German Amigos there. But yeah, they played them close, and with that loss, they're actually guaranteed to be at least fourth equal, at the end of today.
So here are your remaining teams. Carmine Corp taking on Oxygen later on, and Quadrant will be kicking us off today up against Liquid. Those two teams very, very close against each other when it comes to the winter standings. But yesterday, we've gone through all of the general highlights of this. But Cole, let's narrow it down a little bit to our top 3 plays.
I would love to. Thank you very much, Shogun. And we'll start with the German Amigos. We've been talking about Carmine Corp's mechanics, but German Amigos have got some of their own, a little bit more creative there. You know, less swirly, less flip resetty, solid first touch, and then look at the decision making for the second right here. What you're going to do with it. Lean back, get the pass across, and Ivan is always going to be there. It's their counter-attack play style, and when it works, German Amigos, they're actually one of my favorite teams at the moment.
Yeah, great stuff to watch. And another team that are also being underestimated pretty consistently are Quadrant, and it's all talk about the Cash the cannon, the offensive powerhouse. But look at Ixo here, just dishing it in at rapid pace off the back wall. That's an incredibly difficult angle to hit at that kind of speed, and he nails it. Not only to get the goal, but to win in overtime.
And I spoke a lot about Williams Resolve yesterday and about Noah, but Breezy, the man that Johnny told me off for putting down a little bit, outdid everybody in this series, managing to go above Rise to start with, flip resetting, luring 2 in, and then just that light little touch down to the floor to then tap it in, seeing that beautiful Williams goal explosion too. Just outplaying all of Oxygen is an immense feat.
Right, so that is some of the amazing action that we had yesterday. Now we get to look a little bit further forward. And to do that, we're going to have a look at the winter points that we currently have, just to set the table a little bit. At the moment, as you can see, there's a couple of teams that are pretty comfortable. There is a team that is very comfortable. It's Carmine Corp. We haven't talked about them much today. The German Amigos versus Carmine Corp. Well, we talked a lot about German Amigos because Carmine Corp have hit that level now where they are just expected to win. Now we get to talk about them. It's Sunday. This is sort of their day where the spotlight shines on them even more. German Amigos over at 20 points, but they are kind of at the mercy now between Liquid and Quadrant, because whoever wins that match later on today is going to leapfrog them. Yeah. If you're German Amigos, Johnny, which one would you prefer here?
I think you've got to prefer Quadrant winning just to keep it all a bit closer there. Although, if Team Liquid win, then German Amigos are just 5th place completely by themselves. It's all going to come down to the final regional, the invitational next in next fortnight. Moist are still in range. Quadrant, Team Liquid, German Amigos seem like they're the 4 teams fighting for those 2 spots through 4th, 5th to the major.
So let's move on then over to the season-long points. We're roughly anticipating it's going to be about 7 positions for Europe, depending on, well, going off what we saw last season. So that kind of using that as a template for this one. Right now, German Amigos taking up that 7th spot. G1 sitting behind them at 32. But there's a few teams here that will be wanting some big results heading forward. If you get yourself a major, you're in a lovely spot in terms of making it to that World Championship. But most importantly, you really want to get up to that top 3 sort of level. You want to skip wildcard. You don't want to do wildcard. That becomes a long event for you at that point, Johnny. I mean, Cole, sorry.
Yeah, I was
Johnny
going to say, yeah, Johnny, no one cares, Johnny. Go on, shush. For some of these teams, is what I was going to say, just making it to Worlds, they would love to break into the wildcard. And I just wanted to remind everybody that this time last season, Carmine Corp had been to neither of the majors, ended up making the Spring Major, and then waltzing into Worlds. So even for the teams down there, I'm looking at you, Team BDS in 9th, the teams below, it can be done, not making the first 2 majors and then making Worlds. So the season isn't over for any of these teams.
All right, and also one more thing, one more bit of house cleaning that we need to do here because we want to see you over at the San Diego Major. We're working to get the players over there, but we need to get you over there as well. DreamHack event, always so much fun. And you can do that by ! tickets over in that chat of yours. Go over there, or you've got all the information just below us right now. Okay. We've been
now that's out the way.
Yeah, the boring stuff
done.
We've been giggling so long about this because
show. We smashed it.
We did. I said to everybody that this next segment was going to take us a long time. We needed to get through everything done with 20 minutes to spare because it is now time to guess that goal. Okay. So those of you in chat with long memories may remember a while back, I got these 3 to draw a player with varying results. Stumpy put a thumbs up. Cole put a thumbs down.
2 thumbs up, did you say? There you go.
You
can't do it. Milcol93, look for the cash.
Copium.
I
Cole,
destroyed it. That's brilliant.
let me explain real quick what we're going to be doing. So we're doing a variation on that where all of us have drawn a play from Rocket League history, RLCS history, and we're going to show it. We're going to show the drawing, and we're all going to try and guess what that goal was. We're going to guess that goal.
Guess that goal.
You are also going to be able to try and participate in this one. You're going to be able to rate the goal. You're going to try and guess the goal.
Say again, probably, Shogun.
Guess that goal.
Guess that goal.
In order on this one, Cole, you are 100% going last here, buddy, and you know exactly why. Let's
save the best.
Let's do let's do what we do best. Let's peak early, shall we? Stumpy, you're going first. You did really well at this last time. Do you want to introduce your drawing?
So people might have seen my Astral drawing previously, and I peaked. He was like Giga Astral. He looked great. So, guys, this is my drawing of a goal from the RLCS.
Yeah,
Guess that goal.
Guess that goal.
Oh,
is
boy.
That, can we get that bigger production?
Yeah.
That's
how.
Oh, yeah, we can.
My.
Guess that goal, everyone. Everybody in chat, you can play along too.
Are we just jumping in? Because I've got an idea.
Chat, have a discussion.
Is it Big Man, the original OG best player in the world, Kronovi, when he came in and out of his own goal?
No, it's a 0-second goal, clearly. I think I might know what
zeros.
Is this
Johnny the man paying attention to the details, by the way.
All right. Well, sorry. I'm pretty happy with my shout.
I've never heard of Kronovi.
I want to go Vamat on this one.
Yeah.
All right, me and Johnny both there.
Okay, so
Cole,
I'm
2 for
Armad.
Kronovi in season 1.
2 for Armad and 1 for Kronovi in season 1. He said season 1 when he played for Rogue.
No, I said it was the season. No, I didn't say he played for Rogue. Do you know what?
Let's have a look at what the goal was. Let's have a look.
Both teams posture for OT.
Yeah.
There's that one.
Yeah.
And then you see it there. That's the picture.
Johnny, do the thing.
Any other famous goals that we have to say our catchphrases, Shogi?
No, because I've just realised I might set myself up for that one.
Yeah.
Let's hope that nobody went that way.
It was a toss-up between that and Kronovi season 1, by the way. So Paul was close.
Right, the goal I'm talking about, whatever, I'm over it.
Right,
well, congratulations to me and Johnny on being able to guess that goal. Stumpy, I'm really afraid that we actually did peak. I'm also really afraid that this is only getting a mid-7 because
that's hard.
That one was actually something we could predict and guess.
Well, see, is the fact that the goal is predictable the only thing really on display here with the rating of the drawing, or is the artistic quality also?
I think you have to review the quality. Yeah, I agree.
It's a combination of both.
I mean, Cole was a technical author. He knows that displaying that information is the most important. You know, he doesn't need to get too fancy with it.
That's true.
Okay, well, you're getting 8.0. So let's move to the next one.
80.
Congratulations, Stumpy. I'm guaranteeing you none of us are going over an 8 unless it's very ironically.
You're wrong.
Johnny, up next.
Okay,
come on,
this
Johnny.
really fast.
here's my masterpiece for this week. Have I got this right?
Oh.
See?
You're focused on the map, that's for sure.
Oh, okay, wait, there's a boom. There's...
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
What's the
there's an
demo?
explosion in the middle. I really love that you've gone for the map here. You've got really good depth on this drawing. Fair play.
I feel like I'm in the Matrix right now,
You
which is
spec
great.
heavily into depth, and yet that car on the right is what you settled on.
Is that a...
That's the OG.
That
must be
pinchy.
That must be the OG Cooksear pinch.
Oh, with their little little bat eyes on the Batmobile. Which is cute.
Oh, with Slow, that's very clever, Johnny.
Yeah.
Fair play.
abstract
And then he's got a
blue.
family carrier in midfield.
Wait, no, don't make fun of that. I made a worse version of that. Okay.
all right.
Are we settling on Cooks there?
I think it has to be Cooksear pinch, surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
Okay.
Are we gonna guess?
That
Goal!
Are we sure it wasn't Kronobi for Rogue?
And I did. Let's have a look.
away, he makes the touch.
Here it is.
There you go.
That is.
Very good, Johnny.
I love that you got the demo in there too. Certainly
Yeah,
didn't
do you
influence
like
my
the
decision.
timing of that?
I do.
Yeah, the boom.
Oh.
Boom.
It was in the frame
Why
for about
is it-
1 second.
I want to point out here that as the host, I had the opportunity to choose the order of this. And I've set myself up terribly because the first two were actually good.
Johnny's was really good, by
They
the
were
way.
really
I think
good.
Johnny's is a winner.
Yeah,
Really?
it's up
I
towards
didn't
the
expect that.
nines.
haven't even
really
started.
position.
Oh my goodness, we're doing
Johnny
well.
you haven't- you haven't-
I saw someone in chat put 20, by the way. Like,
I don't think that counts. You need to type 10.
All right. Well,
Let's go.
Go on,
huge
Shogun.
performance.
Your turn, mate. This is massive. Well done, Johnny.
Well
I don't
done.
like
Well
Stumpy
done.
saying I think Johnny's the winner before Shogun and I go. Can I?
Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry.
okay. It's between you and Johnny at this point, Cole.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unlike
8.8.
Cole, I have very much set my standards to the lads today. And even then, I don't think I'm going to be able to hit the standards that even they expect.
Shogun, stop delaying, mate. Show us
All
your
right,
drawing.
yeah, baby.
I don't
What have you
have a
done?
drawing in my hands right now because I had a whiteboard that I can't get. Instead, I made you a storyboard.
What? God!
Who bought a donkey? Why is a donkey scoring?
No. All right, just take in the information, please.
This is like the scoring
Okay,
of a madman.
let's go through this. Okay, so
What?
two stick men arrive at skyrise buildings, and
Yeah.
then a car descends from heaven. Then a donkey
Yeah.
looks at a bull. A goal is scored. And then for some reason it says kiss in the middle, like the red writing. So a 455 with the word kiss.
Right, 455 is a best of 3,
Okay.
and it's 2-0 to the orange team.
That's
No,
let's
that's
think
the
of
one.
it from that.
That's the one, unfortunately.
That's a one! How could you
Yeah.
not even write numbers?
I like how in the bottom left you've turned the L into an exclamation mark.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
quite fun,
I
with the
got
circle
to
underneath.
that. I got to the creature in the top right, and I just sort of gave up after that.
Why is there a
I ain't gonna do this.
kangaroo? Is it an Australian?
No.
Is it
No,
a
I don't
different
have
goal or
any guess
something?
for what this play is.
Oh, sheep. Is it Welsh? Is it a Welsh player? Is this
Tadpole?
either Breezy or Tadpole or Creams?
Do you want to take a guess?
Is it
at the
cream
very
stepping
least?
in?
Top left. Who do you think those two are?
Stumpy
Oh, it
and
looks like Wave Punk and Carpet.
Oh.
That's genius.
Okay,
Look
Wave
at the
Punk
beard.
and
How have you
Carpet.
ascertained that?
And then there's...
that's smart.
What does it say, like, Vamos Con on the car?
Oh no. No, if that was
say?
closer, that would actually say James's son.
I love how
James
that
is-
doesn't
Oh,
help
it's
us.
Espion.
Oh, bot.
Is it Espion?
J-bot or J-bot?
I'm not pushing that.
So you even cheated. You wrote
Let's
words
be
in your
honest.
drawing.
Yeah, I had
Oh
to
my-
make up for a lack of
Shogun,
skill
this is
with.
a-
Can I ask a
outright
quick
cheating.
question to Stumpy and Johnny? Are you guys expecting mine to be worse than this still, based on seeing
I
this?
don't think
Honestly,
so.
I
I'm gonna
think it'll be
completely
close. I still truly think it's good. Cole, by the way, was so proud of his earlier. I don't know.
I
can't
keep
even
glancing
think of
at
a
it in the
goal.
pre-show. Is
Okay.
there a goal? Just think of any goal. This is Rocket League.
Oh, it's
Just
a
in
1-0.
0 seconds.
Yeah,
equalizer.
I can't believe you got it. All right, let's have a look.
No, this
Were
is
you able to
Kronovi.
guess that goal?
Goal.
Right now, we
I
have
actually
Espion
went with
Classic
the
Husky.
first ever
Orange.
goal scored
We
on an
have
RLCS
Astra going
broadcast.
here at kickoff.
Oh, wait, it was right
Oh.
with Espion. It was right with Espion.
Great save.
Oh.
With the second shot.
Oh.
Husky.
And amazingly, North America never improved. Okay.
Explain your thought process with the drawing,
So,
Sugar.
if you want
Let's do the drawing again.
If you want to know the creature, that was supposed to be a husky. Because husky.
Because we all remember the famous player Husky from
Husky.
season 1 of the RLCS.
I do actually, but that did not look like a
Oh,
husky.
Lovely guy, Johnny.
I met him. He's a really nice guy.
Let's have an
Yeah, I
in-depth talk about his
disagree.
mechanics.
So the only thing I can really hope for here is, despite the fact that 1 and 0 are pretty far away from each other on the keyboard, maybe somebody will mistype.
There's no
Combine
way
them.
Coles is worth. There's no way Coles is
Well,
worth.
let's find out. Let's find out. Cole, you've been given every advantage by going after me here.
Am I showing it first, yeah? This
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
it could be a bit green screened, but this is my drawing. Wait,
What?
wait,
What?
wait.
What?
Oh,
There
you
you
got
go.
paper.
What on
Yeah, I
earth?
papered it.
You coloured in properly. Honestly, fair play. Mate, you smashed it. Fair play.
Oh, wow.
You know
I
what?
told you guys.
That's actually really good. You have
Now,
done a
can you
logo, which
figure
I
it
don't
out?
respect.
All right, yeah, we didn't say we couldn't do logos. I don't remember that.
Vitality, obviously.
So Vitality, there's a flip reset. And with 4 seconds left on the clock, in overtime.
Or it's into overtime.
Oh, here we
Overtime,
go.
Game 5.
Here we go.
Oh, I know it. Go on. This is when
wait.
Josh Miller in season 9 bumped K-Dop into an own goal for their first
So
series.
happy. I'm
I
gonna
think you
cry
might
with
actually
joy.
be here, Johnny.
Josh
That's
Miller's reset.
incredible.
I'm
That
gonna
is
cry with
incredible.
joy right now.
This is
All
10.
right, let's have a
This
look.
is 10. Chat, give this
Was
10. That's
not
so
able
good.
to guess that goal.
Guess that goal! That's so good, Cole. I'm actually so happy for you.
That's incredible. What a drawing.
Bonks him in. Bonks.
And that, did you see the moment as well from K-Dot's perspective?
Yeah,
That's
that's class.
Can I show you guys, when we come back, I'll show you a bit of bonus content. My first attempt where I learned some stuff and then gave up on it.
good.
I'll show you it. It's not quite as good. This was attempt number 1 that I gave up on. Would it show?
Oh yeah, fair, yeah.
Yeah. Look at the little flip reset. over there.
Angle.
Cool, you smashed it. Honestly, that's a 10. That's the winner.
Oh.
There's no doubt in my mind.
One of the drawings today was not like the others.
Yeah.
One of them was
it.
like it was like the red string on a board that like connects on a like murder site. Cool, Cole.
You know
it's
what?
gone. Oh, no.
No, production, get it away. Go away.
Husky, it's Husky.
Do you not?
If that's what my dog looked like.
That's why Shogun has cat, because when he looks at dogs, that's what he sees.
Honestly, the cats were staring at me the entire time I was drawing that.
Shogun, are you crying? Shogun, are you crying?
All right. Well, like, this is making my job real difficult. Let's get to our prediction,
no.
shall we? Because apparently I cannot look to the past, so let's instead look towards
my
today.
Oh,
Let's get our predictions. Like, anything to not have us on screen anymore. Let's get our predictions up. Start.
That's really good.
Oh, it's me. It's me first, apparently. Right, so everyone, I'll be the mature one here and tell you all that I got 4-2 for Carmine Corp, and then Liquid beat Quadrant 4-2, and then Carmine Corp beat Liquid
Those are
4-3.
really good predictions, to be fair.
Thank you.
Those are
really?
really-
Yeah,
appreciate that.
great prediction, Cole. Yeah,
Thank you.
You've
Thank
done well.
you.
fantastic.
Cheers, guys.
Smashed it, mate.
That's really
I feel
appreciated,
like
guys.
our Johnny's going to be similar.
It might be
Let's
the
see.
same.
God.
Let's see. 4-2, 2-4, 4-3.
Oh, it's not even mine, it's yours.
Oh, it's Shogun. It's yours.
Right, so Shogun
Very
has
good show.
K-Corp
Same results again.
to win,
Same
Liquid to
results.
win, and K-Corp to win. Shogun and I are drawing, that's fine.
Can we draw this out a little bit? I'm not sorry.
I'm really upset that I'm drawing with Shogun after looking at his art.
Johnny, yeah, okay, same result
got the
again,
same
right?
result.
4-3, 2-4.
right,
Will Stumpy be contrarian? Let's
Well,
see.
everybody.
Person number 4.
I did well yesterday, but today we live and die together. It's the same result again.
Oh, so Stumpy's forced himself to have to go big next time.
stick with our placements regardless today.
I
Oh
respect
my
that.
God.
That's kind of shocking, actually, because we were all saying this is difficult today. We were all
I don't know. I
we
was pretty
undenied.
comfortable with my
I
predictions.
know,
I was
I had Oxygen KC as a coin flip. Genuinely, I flipped a coin.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
KC.
really?
No, dead serious. Because
I mean, we are looking at the teams remaining in this tournament that have historically given K-Corp a little bit of trouble. I mean, Oxygen won the very first tournament of the season. Liquid have done relatively well against K-Corp in these sort of scenarios. So it's still a big shell, and I'm just so happy right now, as you might be able to tell from my very blushy face.
So
You did
blushy.
well, Shogun. Well done.
Oh,
So good. Okay,
I'm never
so
participating in one of
today-
those segments ever again.
Oh, please. I love them.
I'm staying right here.
I thought those predictions would be. I thought there'd be some people going for Oxygen. I thought that'd be a flip. I didn't think many
Yeah.
would go for Quadrant. And then I thought if anybody gets Casey going through, then they're probably going to win the finals. 'Cause I think they're just better than the other teams in the.
I'm not
lower,
gonna lie,
so.
Stubby, I thought you were gonna have like Team Liquid winning just to try
Yeah.
and make a huge.
No, I was-
game
I could have
from last
seen an
to
Oxygen
first.
Team Liquid final for you there, Stumpy. Was it even
But then-
like the thought in your mind of going
Yes,
for
it was. It was absolutely. It was. Yeah, yeah. And then that would have then been a coin flip final. But I just feel KC yesterday they weren't that good. They beat German Amigos, the easiest team really in the bracket to beat yesterday. And Vitera and the other guys are going to not want that to happen. I think they went in very underprepared. So
These are anonymous, by the way. We submit these predictions completely anonymously. So the fact that Shogun, Cole, and I have gone the same on all of the predictions this weekend, I don't think that's ever happened before.
I mean,
Stubby,
we've
the
had
same- it's the
occasions
same
as well where
scores
we
as
just
well.
psych ourselves out, don't we? Where it's just like, okay, I could go like sort of the more, over 50% chance that I think, but he might do it and I need to catch up. So maybe, there
I
are
was
never
thinking
mind
about
you ask
judgments
me-
on this, but we've all steadfast.
Yeah, I think you can't always force a differential. Sometimes you've got to say with what you think, save those moments when you feel it. Which, to be fair, Stumpy, you did yesterday, and it did pay off.
Quaddy.
So
Oh,
can
Quaddy.
do.
Quaddy the
Oh,
boys.
Quaddy. Oh, Quaddy Waddy.
Okay, well, let's remind ourselves, shall we, of what everyone is playing for today. There's a whole heap of points up for offer. Some of these teams definitely could require a few more of these should they want to make themselves available to go to San Diego. But there's also a lot of prize money available for this as well. Make it to the grand finals, you're guaranteed at least $20,000. Win the whole thing, you add an extra $10,000 on top of that. Not bad whatsoever. So let's have a look once again at what order we're doing this in. Liquid and Quadrant will be playing against each other very shortly, followed by Carmine Corp against Oxygen, and then we will have your grand finals. All of these matches, best of sevens, every team having access to one timeout per series they play. Okay, let's lock in, shall we? Our first matchup of the day, Team Liquid, who destroyed Moist Esports and El Splashico, now look forward against Quadrant, who took down a thriving Team Vitality. Here is how they face up against one another. I mean, we saw yesterday, Johnny, we were casting the Quadrant game, how much better they seem to be playing after the fact of the timeout they took.
Yeah,
Nasky
yeah.
taking his time. We're seeing improvement. I definitely want to say Nasky seems to be improving an awful lot as a coach. He's now been doing it for quite a while. He's making leaps and bounds.
It's good to see them being able to be aggressive under pressure. Vitality were coming back yesterday against them, won games 3 and 4. Looked like they were about to take over the series. Quadrant call a timeout, and they keep the aggression up. So, in the most high pressure games in that series against a team that are expected to beat them, we saw players like Ixo and Relating Wave getting up front, making big plays on the ball. It's about the full rotation for Quadrant. It's not about just beating Cash. That's one great thing to do is, lobbing the ball midfield to Cash, as we did see many times this series. But having the triple threat is something that's benefited almost every team that can do that in NA and EU all around the world these days.
We also
And
had the
constant.
stat. Sorry, I was going to say, Shogun, we had the stat yesterday that Relating Wave is the only EU player who's been to every single LAN so far for the last 2 seasons. So I think he goes under the radar a lot as an individual and in the teams that he plays for. He seems to keep finding a way to make it here. So the pressure of qualifying for a LAN seems to be off him. When he's at the LAN, he's not quite there yet, but we'll get to that for Relating Wave.
I mean, you two have pretty much followed Team Liquid their entire tournament journey so far. How are they right now in terms of the typical that you've seen? Is this them performing over their typical level, or is this now a settling in of a style?
I think they're settling in because we always say we start off slow and then we build into a tournament, and there'll be the occasional issue in the playoffs. But groups were incredibly strong, 3-0 versus Resolve and Vitality, and then 4-0 over Moist is a phenomenal result. And the fact that we're seeing them get that more solid play style where they aren't leaving those the net open at the back, and we're not seeing those trickling counter attack goals that always frustrate us. I think they've really sussed themselves out, and it's taken a little while, but they've got to a point where I think they feel confident, a lot more confident with each other. And Chronic yesterday was full vibes. He was having a great time. He was so happy then to be on the interview and having a good chat. So yeah, Liquid look like they're in the strongest position I think we've probably seen them in.
What I'd say is that Quadrant definitely won't be able to defend their way into the grand finals here. If they want to beat Team Liquid, they're going to have to go fully up against them, make the most of their mechanics. Obviously, Cash is the sort of mechanical mastermind on that team, but the others are no slouches either. So I'm hoping we see goals aplenty in this one.
Well, Johnny, you discussed this actually yesterday when we came in after the timeout, where you turned around in the cast and said, time to start watching where Relating Wave is currently positioned, and you using that as a way of indicating how Quadrant were trying to play. Do you mind expanding on that a little bit for us?
Well, you know, it is tied to what I said earlier. It's about being confident enough to, you know, have Relating Wave advancing and to have EXO advancing it. You know, I reckon EXO Cash are kind of like a two-punch combo for a lot of this season, but Relating Wave getting involved in the offense just rounds them out. And right after the timeout, Relating Wave scored a goal, like just seconds into game 5. So that's what Quadrant need to do. They need to just fully rotate and not just leave Relating Wave back by himself, which they didn't do, by the way. So I expect them to be able to do that today.
No, it was actually very impressive what we got from Quadrant yesterday, because they were able to get some demo plays going without ever getting caught on that counterattack, without getting caught in a 2v1. So they're going to need more of that, though, because Team Liquid, they will style and they will hit your car out of the way if they get the opportunity to. But let's find out what you at home think, shall we? All of us have gone for Team Liquid. You at home have also gone for Team Liquid. Not really a massive shout that that's really much of an upset, but we were wrong, mostly about Quadrant yesterday. We
mostly
You could join us and round us out on the overall wrong when it comes to Quadrant. Right now, though, we are looking towards this grand finals. If Quadrant are going to be able to take the entire tournament here, Cole, is there anything sort of different that you would want to see from them, or is their current playstyle enough to sort of take down an Oxygen or a KC?
I don't think their current playstyle is enough to take down an Oxygen or a KC. They're up against Vitality that we mentioned earlier on. They were wobbling and teetering on the edge a little bit yesterday. I always feel with Quadrant that they do have the potential for more. But it's how much they want, how desperate they are to win a regional, as opposed to just keeping qualifying for these majors. I mean, to me, keeping qualifying for the majors is fine, right? That's not a bad thing. So, yeah, I don't know.
Qualifying for the biggest events.
Exactly, that's fine.
Do you not think best shot for Quadrant to win the whole thing is if they face Oxygen in the final? I think Carmine Corp are very unlikely to fall for Oxygen's counterattacks, or for Quadrant's counterattacks, I mean. But
I think Carmine Corp, they outstrength them. They just go too big. They won't be able to outdefend that. Carmine Corp, their whole thing is throw just everything they can at a defense and just smash it into pieces. So
okay, well, I have just seen the RL Esports Twitter absolutely roast me over there, so I need to go and be upset about that. But there's nothing to be upset about, as we are now getting into our first match of the day, the first of our 2 semi-finals. We've got Team Liquid looking to take down Quadrant. Best of 7 coming your way, with all of the action being brought to you by JamesBot and CJ.
Quadrant went out round 1 of the Winter Open. Team Liquid went out round 2, but now they find themselves in the semi-finals with an opportunity to punch their ticket to the grand finals and better their chances of making it to the majors. CJ, what do you make of this one?
Oh, it's just a pleasure to be here, James. They've clearly brought in the A squad here for the semi-finals with myself and your beautiful face as well. So looking forward to some high-octane gameplay, or maybe some high-dominus gameplay from the Cannon.
It's interesting that you say that, the dominance, the Cannon, Cash. I think the player many are looking at to be able to get this win over Team Liquid, which the desk is clearly indicating would be an upset. Everybody on the desk picking Team Liquid in this matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it probably sums up Quadrant right now. The Cannon gets a fake early, almost just straight off the bat there. Look, Quadrant are a team, James, where I feel like you could say they're criminally underestimated. They just find ways to win. It's not always the Carmine Corp way or the Oxygen way, where it's just that all in mechanics, you know, beautiful team plays, but they just find a way, and you have to give them credit for that.
You do, but sometimes you just got to give credit to the better team. So far, it's appeared to be Liquid Double tap threat, rebound out. A Chronic, the shot, it's denied. Relating Wave gets that low shot out. And the Chronic, so patient, happy to take that extra touch, and Atto on the other side of the field, ready for the pass.
This Team Liquid lineup have barely put a foot wrong all weekend, and here we see it again, just a minute into this semi-final. Atto picking up where he left off yesterday, all weekend really. And Team Liquid, what a start.
And for Team Liquid, I mean, you think back to that Moist series, and you know, it was a Chronic's patience that really stood out, taking his time with the ball, not rushing the touch, taking the extra touch around the defense. Chronic had a huge game, and you know, usually just looking at the stats, you expect Oski and Atto to kind of be at the vanguard, but Chronic has had a wonderful tournament so far, a fantastic team effort from Team Liquid, and it shows you how deep that team really is.
Yeah, he was taking his time to leave and rejoin the game multiple times as well, James. We had some disconnects from Chronic. He left the game. He missed the ball, and then he made up for it with an incredible solo play. So, I mean, he's running on his own time right now. That is just that epitomizes confidence to me.
See if that confidence stays solid. There's a lob towards net. Oski a little touch. Atto against Relating Wave, and now the ball finds its way over to Cash with full boost. Dominus, he's not able to do much with it. Chronic back to the corner. Ixo will lob it downfield, beats the first defender, but Oski was waiting perfectly for that ball. Double tap denied off the corner. Relating Wave can't get the help from Ixo. Now another dive. Everybody's gone for Quadrant. Now they're left scrambling on the attack. A Chronic, the shot, Cash will get the save, but the rebound, it's gonna go right in.
And the double commits plagued Quadrant yesterday, but they didn't get punished for it. This Team Liquid team, they're gonna punish you every single time. We saw it again there, that Quadrant defense just a little bit shaky, a few double commits, and Team Liquid punished 2-0. Strong start for these young guns.
You saw Atto threatening the bump on Cash, who was on the sidewall. And the play started, really, CJ. Oh, hold on a second. Another opportunity blocked by Ixo. Team Liquid taking shot after shot after shot. Quadrant, they're just left playing defense simulator. But I was going to say, CJ, that play all started when Ixo wasn't able to get that touch in his own half, and it sent the whole side scrambling for Quadrant.
It's good to see that them covering each other, but probably not in that way. You don't want everyone sending all the troops to the ball at once. And here again, we see Demo's open net opportunity. Atto with a free shot. Wave can't get there. And again, Team Liquid get their third. Atto's second of the game. Team Liquid just starting, firing.
And it's starting to look like what we saw from Team Liquid in the groups. So, Team Liquid throughout groups, Atto is actually number 1 in demos. Oski, 3rd. We're already seeing that aggression come out. And Team Liquid having so much time on attack, whereas against Moist, it was a lot of time defending. But still, Moist only managed to put 2 goals in. And will we see the first? We do. Ixo will bounce this one in, and there's a little bit of time left on the clock, but it's still going to be a tough one for Quadrant to come back from.
Yeah, the positive, I guess you could say, is that this was Quadrant's first attack of the game. 1 attack, 1 goal. So, I mean, offense, it's showing that they're scoring at a high rate, but it's not coming too often here. Cash is going to have to step up, flip reset off the kickoff. What can he do? Gets blocked out. Chronic's right there. With a minute on the clock, James, we're going to have to see Quadrant change something, because the doink could be in off the post. Follow-up. That goes wide.
So, I mean, it was like the drawings we saw earlier, not the Shogun thing, but the good one. You know, the Ahmad drawing almost had another moment there.
Goodness, one of those drawings, James. I'm not sure if that dog was alive, but it was.
I thought it was a cat.
That's a husky. Then I don't want one. Let's just say that. Shogun, go back to the drawing board there. Literally, in all senses of that saying. Anyway, back into this one. Forget about his drawings. Forget about the fact that he's never going to be able to. Well, I don't know if he's past. I don't know. Grade 4 in the drawing.
I was going to say, it looks like Quadrant's going to have to go back to the drawing board. They had this one play. You know, they sent 2 up Both players had an opportunity to take the shot. They did beat out that Team Liquid defense, but Team Liquid continues to demo, and now flip reset opportunity. No, Atto goes for the double, but it's going to be wide. However, time wasted off the clock. Team Liquid, you know, I don't want to say it looked easy for him, but it really didn't look like Team Liquid broke a sweat this game one.
No, it didn't. Straight off the bat, scoring early, making a statement, and just putting Quadrant on the back foot early. That was the difference. Team Quadrant, well, I mean, they didn't quite look warmed up, James. I think there was some missed touches, miscommunication. They're all sort of diving in to help each other, but in the end, it was all about Team Liquid. They just look like a team this weekend that wants to make a statement. As you said, they made the quarterfinals last time. Probably not the result they wanted. Well, they're making amends here early.
They really are, and this is, I would say, the standard Team Liquid approach. You got tons of demo, Atto and Oski at the Vanguard. Chronic just making plays when he has to, and you know, there was that one goal that they let in, but overall, Team Liquid looked rock solid. So much possession. It was clear they were dictating the tempo of this game. They were in control of this game pretty much from the get-go. So Quadrant has some figuring out to do. And I think for them, you know, there was the one play where Ixo didn't get the touch in the corner. It left the whole team scrambling, and it turned into a goal for Team Liquid. So on all sides of the ball right now, Quadrant getting a bit outpaced. We'll see what they can change going up into this one, CJ, but it's looking like a tough start, and really with the entire desk going Team Liquid, you're starting to see why. This Team Liquid squad has been playing lights out all weekend, and it looks like they're continuing that level of gameplay here.
Yeah, we're seeing how adaptable Liquid are as well. You mentioned before in the Moist series, they were on defense the whole time. They just knew how aggressive this new Moist lineup was going to be. They played that counter-attack style and it worked, but here it feels like they just know they had the better offense. They're the faster team, and they're using that. They're just capitalizing every single time on these mistakes and almost just isolating that last man, James, just beating out the first two and then securing an opportunity so it just gets one through everyone.
Okay, so Atto goes up, doesn't get a touch. Actually, it looks like the ball trail turned orange. So, you know, I guess there's that.
There is
that makes you feel better or worse.
It didn't change the trajectory of the ball. Everyone got faked out by everyone. Here we go again, over the top corner. What a save, rollating wave. Team Liquid. Well, it feels like a repeat, James, of game one. They're hitting the ground running.
And then you've got Quadrant who are just hitting the ground. Quadrant, they have to battle back. Cash, first touch. Trying to take it into an air dribble, flip reset, takes it down to the ground, wave dash, hits it hard, going towards the backboard, but Atto there. And now Oski right down to a Chronic, lovely first touch. Now the flip reset, a Chronic leading to a rebound. Ixo with the defensive play of the series so far. I thought that was going to be a highlight goal from a Chronic.
Oh, Chronic peaked there, but Ixo with the double save coming up huge. And for Ixo, it feels like we haven't seen him since that BDS series in the first split when everyone was calling him Peaks, though. Since then, it feels like it's been, I guess, the Cannon show. But Ixo stepping up there when it counts. Team Liquid, I mean, how many chances can you give a Chronic, though? That's the thing. You can't always be relying on these double saves in defense from one player. And Team Liquid, they're still pushing forward. These pinches into the orange end are dangerous. Ixo just double whiff again from Quadrant. They're looking shaky. Atto off the ceiling, drop down. Chronic can't quite get it.
It's Quadrant just trying to keep their head above water, but now a chance. Relating Wave can't get the tip. It looks like something might be going there. And now the shot. Atto up early. Oski will get that out. The pace of play picking up. And now we're seeing Quadrant finally have some teeth.
Relating Wave had a chance there off the corner, couldn't put it away. And this Quadrant offense, James, it's not the most impressive right now. It feels like there's a lot of misses coming out. That could just be in the cannon. Just finds a Chronic sleeping in the net and puts one in the top corner.
And I mean, Chronic knows he's last back right here, started to cheat up a little bit. And I think you're right. He was just caught sleeping, probably thinking there's no way he shoots it from there. And Chronic, that positioning, quite aggressive, and he pays the price for it.
Here goes Oski over the top. Ixo again in defense, stepping up for Quadrant. They're in this game. You know, game one, it felt like it got away from them. They've got a chance now after that goal out of nowhere, it feels like, from the cannon. It might be that dominance factor, James, where just that extra power. You're not really positioned for it, and certainly caught a chronic.
That car, simply a box. Those sharp edges. I mean, you wouldn't want to stub your toe on that. I'd imagine you can get quite the toe ball, and there was one there from Cash as he was able to sneak that one through.
He's got a broken foot.
It really feels like new life has been breathed into Quadrant after that goal. But now it's a race to the ball. Cash trying to get back. He gets a hand up. It's out to a Chronic. A Chronic can't get the follow-up shot. Good hustle there from Cash, getting back, shutting that play down.
Triple commit though in defense from Quadrant. They're looking a little bit shaky. Adso trying to get it around XO. They live to fight another day. Ball gets out. Oski's going to be able to take his time now. There's space on the other side. The Lading Wave shuts it down. This is looking all right now. Team Liquid flip reset over the top of Chronic pass play. Straight through XO. Liquid get their second and take the lead.
It's so nice from Atto. Relating Wave even got a piece of it. Atto masking that flip reset pass until the very end. A Chronic, he was on the same exact page on that play. Gorgeous pass. Team Liquid now back on top.
Yeah, the offense just looks so much more threatening right now from Liquid. It feels like this man, the cannon, is sort of the only offensive option, at least in terms of solo plays for Quadrant. Let's see if Wave can change that. No, Atto just cuts it straight out. Ixo, James, he's the man I'm looking for. We need to see Pixo back in form because the cannon can't just keep firing them through.
What can he? Cash. Pass off the corner, but Oski first to it gets demoed, though. A Chronic. Will he get the double? Yes! He will, out into the middle. Relating Wave was trying to take that extra touch. Atto giving him no space and still getting a touch on the ball. Allows Oski to go to the backboard. Awkward for Cash. Cash gets a touch, but it's not enough. A Chronic cleans up.
Ixo just trusted Cash with a touch here. He was off to the corner. He left him just hanging here and just rotated him back post. Couldn't find the follow-up touch. A Chronic too fast, too quick. And again, last man of Quadrant getting isolated, getting left alone, and they're left to punish.
And I think it was Atto there who was playing that disruptive game on the goal line. It's not like you're going to win the ball outright, but if you can make the defense uncomfortable, sometimes you can lead your team to those rebound goals. That's exactly what Team Liquid did. Never giving up on the play, just trying to make their opponents as uncomfortable as possible, and it's working. Atto the drop down, but Relating Wave had the angle covered.
Biggest difference right now, it feels like Liquid, they have this three-man offense, and Quadrant, when they go forward, they're lacking a bit of firepower. Here again, they're relying on that defense, almost relying on or hoping that Liquid overcommit and give them an opportunity to go to work down the other end, but it's to no avail here. Team Liquid, they're going to get their second game win here, and geez, they're looking strong.
Oski was so fast. I was admiring the first touch from Cash until Oski came flying in to take possession over. Team Liquid, they're just faster. They look stronger. They look better so far. Quadrant, like you said, CJ, they have not really been able to get much going offensively. There was a moment where you thought they were back into it, but then Team Liquid hit the gas. Now Quadrant, feeling the pressure, are forced to call it timeout.
Yeah, you have to call a timeout here. It's too many times, James. I see a team go down 3-0, 3-1, and then they call the timeout on match point. That's too little too late. You've got to call it at least the first two games. Even 1-0, I don't mind calling it if the first game doesn't go the way you wanted. And it almost felt like this could have been an opportunity after that first game for Quadrant to call the timeout because, I mean, that game one didn't look too crash hot. It's a similar story here in game number 2.
And what about game 2? Yes, it's the same story, right? It was the same scoreline, I believe. And Quadrant, it looked a little bit better this game, but overall, Team Liquid, I mean, you see they're comfortable. It's laughs coming out. Team Liquid feeling so confident. And rightfully so, CJ. This has been a rock-solid performance from Team Liquid so far.
Yeah, they're looking bulletproof. And for this lineup, that's the biggest compliment you can give them. We know how good their peak is, but I mean, their floor sometimes is so low, but we're not seeing their floor that low at all. It's almost like a Carmine Corp performance where even when they're not quite feeling crash hot, their structure, the way they want to play is still shining through and they're getting the wins. But I mean, they've been hot all weekend, Liquid, and Quadrant, they might just be unlucky, James, to be running into this team because tell you what, they're looking regional winners.
We're in the semis. We're in the semis.
I suppose you're going to have to run into a decent team.
Unlucky. I hit a fantastic team, but there's only 4 left. So, I think it's just a situation where we're really going to see what Quadrant is made of. And I think a lot of people, the analyst desk included, look at Quadrant as the underdog at this point in the event. And it's showing, you're seeing why. This Team Liquid squad, every single player out there on the pitch, a threat to make a play. We almost saw Chronic hit an insane flip reset play. The defense was there for Quadrant, but I think it's not so much the defense that people are wondering if Quadrant can pull out. It's the offense. Who will step up? Who will start putting in these goals? Quadrant need that attack. And off the timeout, they really need a result here. Team Liquid, I believe Moist called a timeout after game 2 as well, and Team Liquid was still able to power through.
Timeout buff didn't quite work out there. Let's see how it happens. Let's see what Snasky's got cooking here. Let's see what the cannon can do. Flip reset, just smashes it past Relating Wave now. Gets the opportunity for a solo play. Atto instantly challenges, but Quadrant should be able to keep attacking here. Liquid, they're sitting a little bit deeper. The cannon stealing. Air dribble off the touch. Relating Wave gets it over the top. Oski's there. This is better from Quadrant, James. They're pushing forward. They're looking dangerous.
It was much better, but then you see Oski again swoop in to break up these plays. However, the effort from Cash can't be ignored. Quadrant looking like much more of a threat so far. The demo from Oski on the defensive end, taking Ixo out. Cash back to the corner. Atto double tap into a flip reset down. Relating Wave trying to be patient. Follow-up hit downfield. A Chronic is waiting. A Chronic has to leave that ball for Ixo, and it ping-pongs all the way downfield. Ixo stays on the ball with low boost. Now back to the middle. Cash, a weak shot, almost powering it through. Oski getting a good read, but Relating Wave will have a look, and that was a light hit. Easy for Team Liquid to clear out.
Yeah, he was just a weak touch there. He was too crept up. He had to stay a little bit deeper for that solo play. He would have had the free shot, but just made it hard for himself here. But I love this change-up right now. Team Quadrant, they're sitting a little bit deeper. They're just going for those, relying on the solo plays and trying to force a little bit more pressure, trying to force that offense, not sending all the troops at every single play. And it is working out so far. They haven't scored. They haven't got that reward for their effort, but it's looking better.
It is looking better, but we did see Moist put Team Liquid in the same spot, and Team Liquid still found a way around it. We'll see if that's the case here, if Quadrant can bounce back in game 3. Relating Wave. Hit off Atto, but a Chronic is able to find Oski. Oski actually leaves the ball. Atto, awkward ball. Ixo getting a piece of it now to Cash. Flip reset pass back to the middle, and it's cleared out. Atto.
And then it need to be careful here, James. They're prone to counter-attacks as well. But they do survive here. Team Liquid, it almost feels like they're baiting them in a little bit off the backboard. Cash is going to be able to parry this one to the side, but this is where, well, I was going to say this is where it gets dangerous. The Chronics walk straight under that one, and Team Quadrant, well, they're on attack again.
A little bit of a team bump there. Atto off-ball demo. That gives a Chronic space, but a Chronic will just hit it up to the sidewall. Oski also jumping for that briefly. Team Liquid starting to feel the pressure a little bit, and you see that results in a slow shot. Relating Wave the 50. Downfield, a Chronic to the corner. Full boost. Ixo challenging a Chronic. So patient. Has Atto across. Gets a touch on the challenge. Ixo will hit it downfield. Much better from Quadrant. We're still scoreless. Only a minute and a half left.
They just need to be careful here. They don't give them too much space, but I like seeing the demos. First man's committing up, trying to put just putting a hand up, putting a little bit of pressure on their plays, and this could be a double beat out from Cash. Relating Wave does get the beat. Cash is downfield, but Ixo gets outpaced last man. This is trouble now. What can Relating Wave do? And he backflips on the touch. Was a little bit heavier than he expected. Team Quadrant, though, look to be surviving for now. Ixo's up there, might be able to get the clear. Liquid, they're picking up the pace.
Ixo, low boost. Got it up to Relating Wave. Oski hard off the ceiling. Now back to Oski. Oski high off the backboard. Ixo can't get the read. A light drop down. Save from Ixo. A goal from Atto. The counterattack proves deadly once more.
Just too much power from Oski there. Chronic, that's all he had to do was just force Ixo to make that touch, put him out of net, and Atto gets the free goal. A three-man effort, three-man offense from Team Liquid. And that sums up this lineup at the moment. They're firing on all cylinders. It's always a three-man effort.
That split second counterattack. It rears its head again, CJ. Team Liquid has been looking ferocious, you know, when they need to soak in the pressure, they do, and then they can break out just like that. Still a chance now for Quadrant, though goals have not been easy for him. So a chance, gets the bump, and Relating Wave gets credited for the goal, but Ixo the one doing the dirty work.
A massive play here. That's what they need. Send someone downfield. Just put a little bit of pressure on that defense. A Chronic left last man with Ixo, and just a smart play. That's high IQ Rocket League there, taking out the last man. Relating Wave gets credited for the goal, but I love seeing that, changing it up with 20 seconds left, trying to force something to happen. And Quadrant, James, they get that reward for that earlier effort on that offense.
That's a pinch back to Oski. Oski flops it over, double commit. A Chronic going for the double, hits it to the middle, but nobody was there. Team Liquid, and now we have overtime. This a critical game for Quadrant. If Team Liquid win this, they're on match point. And that would be a difficult path for Quadrant to battle back from. We'll see if Quadrant can step up here. Chronic, just two go, Relating Wave and Cash a wide open net. Oh, Chronic blocks it. Was Ixo going to get back in time? Or was that? I don't even know. What? Oh my goodness.
Oh no, you shouldn't. He probably just didn't realize how the structure had completely gone from Quadrant. They'd left the net open in overtime of all places in Game 3 when they couldn't afford to. But a Chronic gives them a lifeline. Quadrant have to capitalize now. Cash. Atto's awkward. A Chronic does rotate back. Team Quadrant, I mean, they're just giving these free sort of opportunities in their defensive end, but they just keep surviving somehow.
Team Liquid, the #1 defense. So good at it. They play on both sides of the ball.
Just practicing. I love to see it, but maybe not in a semi-final of a regional.
We'll see if that comes back to haunt Team Liquid. And that, you know, Ixo was streaking back. Maybe, just maybe, he would have gotten back in time.
This is dangerous. Ixo, they're going to recover. And Relating Wave again, their third man, they're just caught a little bit, almost surprised by the counterattacks here by Liquid. What can Oski do? A double touch across. He's got no friends right now on his team to help him in the offense, but they might be able to continue this. Ixo gets the solo opportunity, pass across, blocked out by a Chronic, and there's a lot of midfield game at the moment, interception after interception.
Cash to Ixo, good passing. We've seen a Chronic get caught out once. Didn't happen there. Now, a Chronic has to bail out Cash. Gonna get another touch. Cash going to the backboard, but Oski yet again being that hammer to break up the play. A wonderful challenge. Cash will tip it off to the side. A Chronic now over, gets the mid boost. The attack is on for Team Liquid. Cash off the ceiling and down. Backflip flick. High pop from Oski. Over to it, a Chronic. Now forcing it downfield. Ixo, tons of boost here. Trying to get his way around the defense. Wonderfully done by Ixo, who's going to stay in the play. Cash waiting in the middle. Ixo trying to get it to him, but a Chronic will stop.
They're playing a much less patient game here, Quadrant. They're willing to commit second and third man and just hoping that someone can get back. We saw it with Cash earlier, having to cut rotation. Here we go. Atto might be able to get the bump. Ixo must flick. Atto puts it away. Team Liquid moves to match point. What an individual effort.
He gets the flip reset, goes down into a wave dash, lands 0 boost. Musty Atto, he is unbelievable. Team Liquid, they are on match point now. And what do you do against that? You get
Just
clipped on, styled on.
Picking them apart, James. And the composure that we're seeing, Quadrant, they felt a little bit rushed. They changed it up, but they just kept getting caught out in defense. And in the end, that came back to haunt them. Although Chronic decided to keep them in the overtime a little bit, it was to no avail. Team Liquid get it. Atto, what a solo play. And I mean, Team Liquid, James, they're not putting a foot wrong right now, apart from saving their own shots.
Yeah, well, I think it worked out in the end. We got that clip out of it. So that was just wild. Atto, you saw him there in the reaction. He has been the player for Team Liquid so far. Yesterday, I felt like a Chronic really stepped up. But in this series, Atto has been insane. Just look at that last play to put Team Liquid on match point. They swept Moist in the quarterfinals, and now they're about to sweep Quadrant in the semis. This is a region, CJ, where normally Europe it's fought tooth and nail for victories even in round 1, and Team Liquid at this point is making it look easy.
I mean, it goes to show, we said it probably, I guess not after the first regional, but certainly coming into this split, Team Liquid, surely they've got to be top 3 in Europe. They've got to make a statement. They didn't quite do it in regional number 1, but they are certainly doing it in regional number 2. Win or loss, moving into a grand final. This has been an exceptional regional for them, but they still have to do it here, James. There's one more win to move on to the grand finals. Quadrant don't want that, though. They want to change it up, and we did see the change up in that last game. It almost was enough. Let's see what they can do here.
Still Quadrant haven't been able to get much going offensively. The goal we saw last game, Ixo just bumping the last player out. Enough to get one, but gonna have to get more than that to take down this Team Liquid squad, who has been so good on defense. Their goals against only 0.75 goals a game, and you can see why. So saving that one on the goal line. Ixo getting beat. Oski, the flick, relating wave will save it, but it's popped up again, and again it's scored on the rebound by Team Liquid.
Oh, they're picking them apart. Ixo, just a terrible challenge. Relating Wave puts it up, but look at Oski bumping Cash last man and ensuring that Atto had the freest opportunity on net. I love seeing that off-the-ball action. Team Liquid, it feels like it's a broken record, James. The first minute and a half of every game, Team Liquid, they just come out strong, come out firing, and score the first goal.
And they're so surgical, CJ, with their options that they're taking. Sometimes they're not just going for the goal, but they put the ball in an awkward spot that forces the rebound. And they've scored so many of those balls. Team Liquid, they are on a roll. Quadrant, it feels like it's just a matter of time, CJ, before they're knocked out.
It does, and here's another opportunity. Chronic can't quite get it, but surgical is exactly the way I'd put it as well. You look at Quadrant's offense and even defense, it's a little bit shambolic, a little bit scrappy, whereas Liquid, it feels like they're picking them apart, choosing their moments to fake, to buy time for each other. And right now it's paying dividends here. Cash can't quite get it. Team Liquid, they're a goal up, James, but they want another one. They want to secure this. Having said that, that might be an open sort of opportunity. Relating waves there. The cannon's in the middle, but that's not a great pass. Atto's willing to go for the counter-attack and almost gets the most ridiculous double touch you could ever see.
I mean, he had it somewhat red, didn't make contact. But Team Liquid, the confidence, it is bubbling over the top. Quadrant, they're going to get something. Relating wave, fighting through a bump attempt. And now Oski lets that ball go by. Quadrant, now a chance. Ixo, can he get around it? The late flick. Ixo bar down. That was a gorgeous play.
He's done it again, getting a demo on the last man. Team Liquid caught napping again. Atto couldn't respawn in time, but Ixo still had to pop it over the top and make the play, the demo and the goal. We saw it last game from him, and we've seen it again here. But this time, James, he's had to score it himself.
Man, that was so good, but immediately, I was going to say Team Liquid was humbled last play, but now they're back on top.
What a touch, Atto. Look at the angle. Cash didn't respect it at all. He had a ball width to get through there on net. He finds a way, and that's
How
Team
did that
Liquid.
get near post? How, CJ?
I don't know,
How?
but he's found a way, and that's just what Team Liquid do. They just find something each, so that's dangerous. Atto, double touch. This could be a statement piece. Can't quite put it away. Oski still pressuring Team Liquid. They want another goal. Quadrant, they have to find a way to get into it, and does it have to come through another bump goal? It seems like it's their only avenue, James.
I mean, are there any avenues? Seems like all the roads are closed to the Team Liquid net. And now it has to be demoralizing, CJ, how Ixo gets a fantastic goal, controls the ball, late flip on that flick, and then immediately Atto scoring a goal like that, near post, past Cash, when no one thinks he has an angle. Quadrant, they can't seem to catch a break.
They can't, and here we go again. Ixo last man. Quadrant, they're sort of just happy to play high-risk, high-reward defense to try and get some counterattacks, but again, we're not quite seeing it here. Chronic is going to get a touch. Double commit helps it out as well. Relating wave, they bumped each other in defense. Atto, double touch, it's on. Chronic just waits patiently. And Team Liquid, they're just pushing forward, trying to get that other goal. It feels like their next goal decides this series. Can Quadrant get back in it? Or is it Team Liquid's to sweep their way to the grand final?
Chronic has to jump right away. Finds Oski. Oski will waste more time. Bounce hard and out. It's past Atto. Chronic hard off the ceiling. Cash again off the ceiling. Ball ping-ponging back and forth. Oski can't get the double. Leaves it for Ixo, and Atto clearing it nicely to the corner. Chronic into a dribble, trying to outrun Cash. Cash hot on his heels. Ball back to the middle. Atto forces a triple commit save. But a save nonetheless. Quadrant still just trailing by 1.
30 seconds on the clock. What can happen here? What can Quadrant do? Chronic's going to be able to touch that across. Ixo's pre-jumped it. Can he get a double touch middle? This could be the shot. Relating wave puts it away, but Ixo again. He's just trying, willing, forcing, kicking, scratching, trying to get this Quadrant team over the line.
Ixo already in the air, pre-jumping the touch to the corner.
Ridiculous.
Ixo leaving it all out on the field. Quadrant, it hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been easy, but they still have a chance. Tying it up late. Team Liquid, they've responded with goals time and time again. But now they give up the ball. Ixo with the 50, Atto going for the low challenge. Keeps the ball in play for one last attempt towards net, dribbling it with no boost. Chronic keeping it up. Oski, wonderful control. Atto off the backboard. Chronic, he's blocked by Relating Wave. Oski will have to hit it to the ground. A quality last attempt, but Quadrant stand tall.
They chose the composure of Team Liquid, finding a play out of nothing. Here goes the cannon fake underneath. He's got a flip reset, doesn't quite get the touch. I'll tell you what, they could have scored there on 0 seconds. Quadrant have felt like they were diving at every chance. Here goes the shot. Oski for the game win. Cash lands on the ball to get it away, but Team Liquid, they want to end this series right here, right now. Demo coming out. Relating Wave does get the clear. They're waiting, though, the bumps. Cash again, huge last 1v2. Ixo down the other end. This is end-to-end stuff. Quadrant, they're playing with fire right now, James.
They really are, and Ixo is moving up to be disruptive. Net, is it vulnerable? Ixo, he speed flips and gets a touch onto it. And now, Cash in the air, flip reset, waiting, and it's shut down by Oski. Chronic on that challenge. Now Relating Wave will have another go at it. Atto up, can't find a Chronic. Ixo now going in, gets demoed off the ball. The pass over, Oski trying to get the block. Now some space. Cash was bumped there by Oski late on the challenge. Now in field, Atto will hammer it downfield.
Relating Wave driving past the ball got me scared here. It felt like Team Liquid could have won this a couple times over now. Ixo with a massive save. This could be the opportunity again. Ixo's out there. Atto off the wall. Goes for another skim. Where are these touches coming from? Atto, what are you doing right now? GG's in chat. Team Liquid sweep their way to the grand final.
And there was the physical play. Oski scoring that last goal, but you'll see on the replay the bump threat coming out. A Chronic zoning Ixo off that ball. Team Liquid winning in overtime, but Quadrant put up a fight that final game, especially Ixo, that pre-jump to the corner to get that touch out and get the goal. Perhaps that's what it's going to take. You know, for Quadrant to take down a team like Team Liquid, you just have to be unpredictable. You have to be bold, and you just got to take some chances. And it still wasn't enough, CJ. That was unreal. An exciting way to end it. And that was just a sweep, but still so exciting.
It was one of the most exciting sweeps I've seen. And again, as you said, it took the almost Pixo to come out, which we saw in the first split, to make their way to help qualify for the major. But it was to no avail. Team Liquid just too strong in there and fighting their way through. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got more Rocket League action ahead of us. Team Liquid through to the grand finals. But coming up next, KC versus Oxygen, the battle of the top two in Europe.
Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple touch. You said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! This time, fire! Try to clear this away. Let me call up with the back. Picks up the save. It's still there for two. He scored!
You lift me off of the ground. I close my eyes and I wait for the come down. I used to live in the now. Now I'm wiser to think that we are bulletproof.
The brilliant Team Liquid continue to dazzle us over here in the Winter Cup, scoring goal after goal and remain unbeaten in this tournament, all through group stages, and now a couple of rounds in these knockouts after beating Quadrant by 4-0. I am here with a Chronic, a man who is in wonderful form, as are the rest of your team, but that last match, even by your current standards, must have been a little bit easier than you expected.
Actually, not to be toxic or something, but we kind of expected we could sweep them because we normally win against them. So we were just like, yeah, we did 4-0 against Moist, we can do against Quadrant as well, and we made it. So,
I mean, after the match, I was looking at your guys' cams when they popped up, and you just looked relaxed. There was, the little bit of like, come on, but for the most part, you just seemed chilled. Is that because you had a feeling you were just going to win this one pretty simply?
I think it's more because we always try to keep calm, like try not to get like too much excited. So we just don't like overthink things in the game. So we just try to keep calm and play our game.
I want to bring up as well, yesterday in your interview, and you are becoming a regular interviewee on this channel, you mentioned a slight playstyle tweak. Are you happy to give us any more info, or you're welcome to keep that under your chest, or to your chest if you want to?
I think what I can say is that the playstyle before we used to play was just based on speed. This is more like based on what we feel it's best to do in the situation.
Fair enough. Well, it's definitely working, so well done there. I also want to talk about the general sort of viewpoint that we have of these teams in Europe, because everyone mentions Carmine Corp, everybody mentions Oxygen. Vitality, as of the last tournament, sort of hugely talked about as our top 3. Do you guys feel that you have a point to prove to be in that conversation?
I don't think we have like a point to prove. I actually think that people forget about Liquid most of the times. I think it's because we are not the most consistent team. But now we're going to try to change that, and hopefully people start talking about us now.
Yeah, I mean, the consistency is definitely coming through. And so it's 4-0 now in the round 1, and then 4-0 just now in the quarterfinals and the semifinals as well. How many games are you going to drop in that grand final?
We don't want to go game 7, so definitely less than 2. Less than 3, I mean.
Less than 3. All right.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Thank you so much, Chronic. Best of luck in the grand finals. We're now going to head back to the desk to digest that last matchup.
Thank you.
We see Team Liquid out there, still speedy. I think they held the number 1 and 2 spots for fastest players on the field, but Chronic talking about going slower, James. I don't know. To me, they still, relative to my play style, they're still really fast.
I was going to say, yes, speed is relative. Slow for Team Liquid might be blazing fast for other teams. And this series, you got to see what makes Team Liquid so deadly. They kind of gave you a glimpse of everything. Atto, crazy series. That musty flick goal was filthy. But, those instances where they're not breathing down your neck, stealing your boost, forcing you on your own goal line, they're happy to take that pressure and be able to just wait for their counterattacking opportunities. So this Team Liquid team, they have multiple strategies to go to, and it's just tough. It's going to be tough for anyone to beat them.
Yeah, and I think that Quadrant played pretty much what you were expecting yesterday, which, Liquid had a couple of great pressures, and you combine that, like you said, James, Atto absolutely hitting some absolute juice today. So a lot of really good execution as well, able to break down Quadrant that looked pretty, at least, capable on defense yesterday. So well done, Liquid.
Not that it's a complicated situation today. We'll take a look at the bracket anyways. You guys should have this burned into your memory. There's only 3 teams remaining now. We came into day 3 championship Sunday with 4 teams. Quadrant now eliminated from that mix. Team Liquid cruising their way through onto the grand finals. Looking good, got that momentum, but they will have to wait a little bit because they do have to wait for their competitor on the other side of the field. Let's just start talking about this one. I feel like this one's a doozy. K-Corp going up against Oxygen Esports. Both these teams sitting in those top 3, the number 1 and 2 for points in the European region. We know, even points aside, all that, these are some of the best teams in Europe achieves. K-Corp, looking so deadly strong, but Oxygen bringing Rise onto the roster has really accelerated that growth.
Yeah, this was the one that you were looking forward to. A lot of people expecting, a really good match here. That's always the danger when you get a match like this in the semifinals, because sometimes you get an absolute banger. You probably get the theoretical grand finals, and sometimes you absolutely tank and one team just smashes the other. So I don't know what we're going to get today, but I'm looking forward to it.
They're looking like they're having fun though. They're ready for today. What is going on here? Oh, they just powered up. They're going Super Saiyan.
But I mean, and honestly, it is a huge boost and buff to be in the same spot as your teammates. When you get demoed, you can look at your teammate's screen to see what's going on, to see the play. There's so much value of being right next to each other. You can see the chemistry is there for this Karmine Corp team.
That's absolutely wonderful. Okay,
where's the oxygen cams? Is it them sitting in a dark bedroom, not saying a word?
Complete opposite.
What's going on there? Can we get some insight? Do they even have cameras on? You can see the okay.
Oh my God!
Okay.
The dark background. Oh, James, you're on.
And I think that's just the coach.
Oh, good.
It's like, dude, there we go.
There we go.
I called it.
You're a genius, James. I don't know how you do it.
It was an assumption. So I truly do think it is a boost to be next to somebody, not just simply from a chemistry standpoint, but voice comm latency standpoint, and also the being able to look at your teammates' screens in these moments. That is a true tactical advantage that you can have. So Karmine Corp, they don't need any extra advantages in this matchup. And there's Itachi doing his best Leaf X impression.
Oh, what? I thought that was like a turkey or something.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
I'm leaving. You're running the show now. That's ridiculous. Well, this is quite the matchup, though. I think, different people need different things. Sometimes you need that focus. Sometimes you need to have fun. And it seems like K-Corp fine, well, hopefully for them. And honestly, might be making me regret my decision on predictions here. If they're feeling that good, there's a chance they're feeling good on the field. But coming into this weekend, both teams maybe have some question marks for them. Karmine Corp, I would have thought Chiefs would have just dominated German Amigos, but had a little bit of trouble there coming up to this point.
Definitely had to work for it. Not their best day yesterday, but you get some rest in. You feel pretty good, obviously, this morning. So I felt like Karmine Corp was going to come out and really show their best today. And that's why I ended up going with them, despite how good Oxygen looked yesterday. I think it's not a bad pick to go for Oxygen, though.
But then again, just for the fun of it, I feel like I should have picked them. I'll be fans of them going forward, though. But James, for K-Corp, I mean, what's the big change coming in from the day before?
What do you mean? What's the big change? I think you just do what you've been doing this entire time.
Fair enough.
Just keep
it simple.
Going back to the same plans. Vatira, let him on the ball, and then he's got 2 fantastic players in Itachi and Exotic who are so consistent that if Vatira can force those rebounds, it's going to be easy goals. Karmine Corp, I think, is the favorite here. They are playing so well.
Well,
I think they're unstoppable.
Chat thinks they're the favorite as well. I guess we'll find out as we head it down to the field, because this next matchup is ready. Europe's top 2 teams battle now for a chance to play in the grand finals against Team Liquid. Let's see if the speed run for the day continues or if our second match goes the distance.
Karmine Corp looking for yet another grand final. They're coming into this one as the favorites, but Johnny, is that going off form or is that going off legacy? Because after what we've seen yesterday, Oxygen is going to require that little bit extra from KC.
Yeah, it's a bit of form, a little bit of history, a little bit of a rivalry with their I think, biggest rivals in the world across the pond, Gen G, they're all trying to make, or Karmine Corp and Gen G are both trying to make 5 regional finals in a row. This is a must-win series if KC are going to keep their streak up, and I think it's going to be their toughest match of the split so far.
Oxygen do have a regional win to their name, the very first one that we had this season. Set themselves up for glory and success. However, they were not able to continue that because after that, KC just sort of started to take over the entire region. We do have a pause, so we'll be able to get back into the action very shortly. If anything, we're just trying to get this series to last a little bit longer than maybe what we have had earlier on in today's broadcast. Johnny, we are still yet to see Champions Field this entire event, and if we are looking at a match that is going to do it, surely this one, maybe?
I think so. I mean, that's what we're all kind of hoping for. The first time that we've seen Oxygen play against Karmine Corp with Rise on the roster. It's going to be extremely interesting to see how they match up. Of course, Rise and Vatira have got that history between them. So much success playing together on Moist before Vatira left for KC. Since then, it was mostly Vatira who won against Rise when Rise was still playing with Moist. But Rise did get the big win against Vatira when it all mattered. When it was on the line in the quarterfinal at the Fall Major, Rise did get the win over his old friend Vatira. So I'm sure, knowing Vatira, knowing how confident he is, knowing how hardworking he is, he's going to want this more than anything. I think today, just making the final, honestly, it might sound crazy to say, but I think winning against Oxygen, winning against Rise, and making another final, keeping that streak going, would probably be an even better feeling than just winning in the grand final against Team Liquid. But we might have a chance to ask him later on today, because we're seeing a lot of Karmine Corp in post-match winner interviews, aren't we?
So just so you're aware, back at home, we are going to be taking just a moment here because we have opened up another lobby. So just getting that ping test done, now we'll be able to get ourselves back into the action. For those of you just joining just now, maybe missed the first match of the day, maybe wondering why that match isn't still going. It was a 4-0 victory. Team Liquid waiting for the winner of this over in the grand finals. And the Team Liquid squad, Johnny, I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous that I didn't predict them earlier on. They are in the form of their lives, and there will be a lot of judgments going on whoever wins this and the manner of which they win it, because Team Liquid in that finals, they look great, and whichever team is playing against them need to look good here.
Yeah, I mentioned that this match should be the hardest match that KC have played all splits so far, and so far is the key term there, because Team Liquid are waiting in the final. That could be even harder. Team Liquid are one of the 2 teams who have beaten Karmine Corp in a final this season. The other being Oxygen, who are about to play them. But not this iteration of the roster. Of course, it was a previous iteration of the roster with Oli way back in the first regional, the Fall Open for Europe. So it's been a while. Oxygen looking to get back on top. But yeah, Oxygen Liquid, I think as a 1-2, that seems like it might be the hardest 2 games in a row, 2 series in a row that Karmine Corp could theoretically have.
I need you to do me a solid, okay? And for everyone at home as well watching, I need you to help me out with this one, because we're going to start the match again. 5 minutes on the clock, so give me a countdown. And we're all going to pretend like the series has just started and none of this ever happened.
None of what ever happened?
Exactly. So if you count me in, here we go, and we'll get this all done together.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're just about ready to get started here. For the first time of the day, Shogun, Oxygen against Karmine Corp. His R2 is having a little bit of a connection issue. Seems like it has stabilized for him. And away we go.
So, series has begun. Best of 7, and we have got ourselves underway with game number 1. Everybody at home, looking forward to this matchup, as we have only just got started for the very first time. We do see Vatira looking to try and take over the play. Rise immediately there. Obviously, plenty of history between a lot of the interpersonnel between these 2 squads. Actually, a lot of good challenges from Jorius. Brings Rise back into the play, wins another challenge. There's nothing quite workable from those positions for Oxygen, but they are having good looks at the play right now. The difficult thing is, though, Johnny, is once Karmine Corp are set up defensively, I was going to say they don't tend to make mistakes, but thankfully I didn't finish that sentence.
Yeah, that was a big whiff by Exotic. He had boost and he simply missed, so pressure getting to him a little bit. I mean, Oxygen came out quickly here, so Karmine Corp know they're going to need to be quick to the ball if they can even just match them for speed. Oxygen's such a quick team, such a mechanical team. That's the best chance of the game yet. Rise not able to knock it fast enough. Denied by Vatira. That's a big double commit by Oxygen. Well, they're the faster team out of the gate, but definitely racing each other to the ball as well as racing their opponents.
Itachi gives a little bit of breathing room now for his team. That's real time in case they have managed to put forward anything offensively. Vatira will keep it alive for now. Rise taking his time, realizes he's got some space to work with. Takes out one player as well. Archie waiting in the midfield. Rise instead chooses to go solo. And the heavy touch taken over by Vatira, who had a heavy touch himself. Able to scramble for the ball. No real attempts just yet for the outplay. And both teams happy to engage in this duel.
Oh, wow.
Trying to find little gaps and almost managed to get one there.
That was great vision by Rise. Vatira coming from his blind spot to try and bump him. Rise saw it coming, or heard it coming perhaps, and was able to keep control of the situation. Carmen Corp starting to in a bit more territory now. They've survived the early push by Oxygen, and now here they go, looking for their opening goal. Rise once again able to read exactly what they're doing. Oh, what a 50-50 by Itachi. Vatira's there to slot it far down. And it's Carmen Corp who opened the scoring. Masterful center ball from Itachi to set it all up.
Nice. Such a good shot. How on earth he's managed to avoid Archie's car and just dip it underneath the crossbar. Incredible play from Carmine Corp. Despite being up against it in the opening few moments, they have managed to rally and not concede whilst they did it. Now we're back with Carmine Corp having to try and stop the oncoming onslaught from Oxygen. Although that maybe is too no. To Archie. Realised no support around. Exotic gets rid of another one, but kind of sweeps himself up along the way. Being played at frantic pace on both sides. And that's Rise backflip. Well, it's been a while since we saw a Feels backflip man at this sort of level. But there is one that is going to hurt massively.
Oh, and yeah, it's definitely a savable shot. I mean, Rise knew he needed to get up quick for this. He did need to fast aerial, no doubt about it. But not like that. That's a massive misplay by Rise. I mean, you know, starting to think perhaps Vatira might be in his head a little bit. It was, I think, Vatira who is looking like the dominant force in all of the online KC versus Moist matches that we saw last split. Rise couldn't produce the same level of dominance that he did previously playing alongside Vatira. And yeah, Vatira just continues to play on forward. He looks like the player running the show here. Exotic get a bit of a nervy start for Carmine Corp, but now he's stabilized. And you know, more needs to be said about Itachi these days as well. So underrated. What a save there by the man himself to deny Rise. Redeeming himself for his earlier mistake. Joreas might be through here, you know. Oh, denied again by Itachi, who's putting up work at both ends. Archie dropped down again. Denied by Itachi.
Well, it was Vatira yesterday that said on social media that his teammates were the ones that were outperforming him. Now it is everybody from KC stepping up, as they tend to do on Championship Sundays. Only a minute away. Oxygen still 2 goals down. Not through a lack of trying. They've had some wonderful opportunities present themselves. None of them have gone in. Joreas. No one in front of him. That's straight to Vatira. He'll be so happy to receive a gift like that. Now running it back over for the 3-0.
Whoa.
Off the backboard. Rise had to make contact. 40 seconds. Still 2 goals for better.
Yeah, what a game for Carmine Corp. What a start for KC. Been the more consistent team, definitely, but they've also been peaking. Here's Itachi with the double downwards. It's denied. They're sitting pretty at 2-0 nonetheless. You know, I think we just have to, again, praise Itachi for what a wonderful game he's played here, creating the opening goal and then defending brilliantly in very tough positions. I think overall this split, he has rivaled Vatira at times. Vatira, in the minds of most, the best player in the world, but Itachi is right up there. This guy has been in incredible form. You know, yeah, Vatira says himself, Itachi's underrated. I think I agree. Exotic makes it 3 here. Now, it was already over, but no goals for Oxygen in game 1. Bit of a flat game overall after a promising first minute.
Yeah, Itachi, I feel, has just been caught on the fact that he's not really made that many moves. He's the one that was still the holdover from last season's Carmine Corp. roster. So when you do see the new players coming over towards him, and you know they're going to be the ones that kind of get the spotlight on them instead. But for Karmine Corp, what a world-class overall performance. Sort of everything got shown by that team. Defensively, they were forced to really, really stick with it for the opening 2 minutes. Once they got up and rolling, there wasn't really much that was going to stop them. Now Oxygen, we already get worried. We've had so many series this season now, Johnny, where the series just gets over and done with so quick. Oxygen needs to answer back very quickly here because, yes, best of 7, that will go away so quick.
Yeah, it's all about this second game. They haven't called a timeout here. They're just going to get straight back to it. And that's, I think, fair enough when you've got a second goal of the game just off the back of a massive defensive blunder from Rise. Pretty easy to see where this game went wrong. It's all about that big mistake, doubling KC's lead. Very difficult to come back against KC from 2 goals down. If Oxygen can just avoid those big mistakes, then they should be able to continue to match KC pretty evenly. Vatira denying Rise an opening goal. And look at Itachi's rotation. They're straight back towards the ball. He wanted to be active in the position. Didn't want to leave Vatira completely by himself. Cut off any potential follow-up.
The question is going to be, how do Oxygen consistently break that defense of KC? They tried everything in game number 1. It didn't work. They had golden opportunities and still Itachi was there to just take it away at the final moment. Right now, they just got to focus on getting that first goal. Worry about the rest of them later. Itachi moves in, look for the second touch, just ran out of boost at the worst moment. It's going to be horrid though, and it's certainly getting worse for them. Vatira hooks into the far side. Doesn't want to continue playing the ball. Back to Exotic. Itachi, whoa, that was early. And now Vatira can move in. This is offensive pressure mounting now for KC. It does go away. That midfield belongs to the blue team.
Yeah, you know, maybe at times last split, and definitely in the minds of many, KC playstyles pretty much just wait for Vatira to do something, but it couldn't be further from the truth these days. Just look at how efficiently Exotic and Itachi are taking Oxygen players out of the game. Look at how often they're able to knock the ball past 1 or even 2 players, and when it's Oxygen coming at them in the other direction, every Karmine Corp car is just so difficult to get past. That is why Karmine Corp are such a good team. They just get very efficient, 1 for 0 trades, 2 for 1 trades. That's a big play here by Jari as he fakes it, drops over Archie. KC are a bit stagnant in the challenge here. Double commit, not going to result in a goal against them. Just yet. Oh, it will now. Surely Rise is there for it. What a pass to just go straight towards Rise, who is stationary waiting in the middle.
A couple of bumps as well, just shoved away Exotic. Go away. I'm going to put this one into the back of the net. And yeah, for the first time, KC forced a panic, and it was a complete slowdown on the pace of the play. Archie might actually be able to move across. They're going to need more moments like that one. Just playing the ball to the far side. Good receive. Nobody was available to receive it. Just didn't want to allow the easy clear for KC, who are going to be chasing this one. Drops down nicely for Vatira. Continue playing it afterwards. Oh, a couple of players out. Vatira turns. He's not going to have support for a while, but he can buy his team some time. He's done incredibly well. Where's the follow-up? Here comes Itachi. Back down off the backboard.
Oh, my.
And that is off a dogged performance from Vatira to keep this going.
Vatira's completely alone up front because both of his teammates are respawning from demos, but he kept the ball alive. He kept the play active. And Itachi opting for the high shot, avoiding the pre-jumping defender, leaves it wide open for Exotic. Full team play for Karmine Corp to tie the game. All Vatira there just continuing to deny the clears that Oxygen were going for.
Oh, pass to Rise. I don't think the shot was quite a target. Now another pass. Rise skims past the ball. We were talking earlier on that KC is not Vatira 1v3. That one, yeah, okay, that one was Vatira 1v3.
Oh yeah, he still does it. I mean, this is why everyone thinks he's the best player in the world. He can do this. It's just, Karmine Corp don't really rely on that anymore. I think Itachi's had a real impressive split so far. He has been a playmaker, and Exotic is really gaining in confidence with every passing week. you know, you're going to get those Vatira 1v3 plays, but you can't rely on them in the modern day. You can't just rely on them to do that every single game. And Karmine Corp don't rely on them to do it every single game. The whole team showing up for the attack there, having faith in Vatira to keep the ball in the opposition half. Yeah, Oxygen looking a bit confused as to how to get the ball past these guys once again.
I've done it once. You're gonna have to do it again. Casey recognizing the danger of Rise loitering. On the ceiling now, there's always just two, and you're never quite sure which way they're gonna take the ball. Although this was the position that they caused chaos last time around. Slowing the play down in the corner. Have they done it again?
Oh!
Yes, they have! Archie, silky smooth!
What's a goal by Archie? That's come out of nowhere. Exotic didn't see Archie cutting rotation. Vatira and Itachi not ready for the immediate shot. So great little rotation there from Archie, just round in a circle. Exotic probably expected a different player to be coming in. That's why you can always think about ways to cut back into the rotation early. If you can make a play on the ball, why not? Especially when you got mechanics like Archie does. Perfect recovery to set up the goal.
Casey need it back again. Oxygen are finding answers. And maybe are starting to spot a weakness in KC. Jorius, not the best first touch. Second one helps a little bit. Not where he wants to see his team, especially with extra touches coming from KC. Been so long. Oh! Jorius, keep it out. But KC just won race after race for the ball. They were going to do something with it, and Exotic certainly did.
I think both teams have just done such a great job this game of playing the awkward touch in offense. It's not always about hitting a hard shot on target. It's not always about getting a clean out play. Sometimes just putting the ball in a difficult to deal with location can be just as effective. And you know, Oxygen have done that earlier in the game. Now Karmine Corp have done that as well. Both teams have been very difficult to clear the ball through for large parts of this game.
Oh, Itachi! Oh, Itachi! Incredible!
Who said all they do is wait for Vatira to 1v3? That's a triple from Itachi. One bounce to the ceiling, one bounce to the back wall, balls in the back of the net. And one explosive move as well. Oxygen did not see it coming. And now with 22 seconds left, they're trailing by 2.
Oxygen just got hit by a bust, and now they have to recuperate and get this goal back, or they will be 2 down in the series. Rise, who's he got to help him out? There's nobody there. Time ticking away. Archie goes to his own corner. Itachi still taking over. Has he got another goal in it? They don't need it. Still might take it. But the ball keeps alive. And there it goes.
Oh, it's got to be a timeout, surely. That just has to be a timeout for Oxygen. They are up against it.
I feel tilted.
2 games in a row, and indeed, they have called a timeout. Yeah, can't blame them. It just looks extremely difficult for them to defend against Karmine Corp right now. Karmine Corp are playing so awkwardly. They're 50-50ing brilliantly in the final third. They're just popping the ball into awkward locations that aren't natural for Oxygen to deal with. You know, Oxygen haven't been able to play at their pace that they love to play at. They haven't been able to up the speed and just keep flowing freely as they do when they're peaking. It's just been an uncomfortable series for them overall, and Itachi completely steals the show with an unreal end-to-end triple tap to clutch it up for Karmine Corp. After, you know, I think they had a couple of awkward moments in defense as well this game. Your credit to Oxygen, they made it close. Karmine Corp just look like they're continuing to do what they've done all season. They've yet to miss a grand final regionally. They don't look likely to do it today.
Whenever we get into these sort of series, there are a lot of things that we can look towards and say, okay, these are the little differences between these two teams. But there's always a baseline that we look for, and that is speed and winning the challenges. Karmine Corp are winning both of those right now, and they're winning them pretty convincingly. And you look at the talent over on Oxygen, you see the names like Archie, like Jorius, and you think, these guys have incredible 50 games, Rise especially on this.
Yeah.
And they are not getting anything from it. The names that this KC team are beating in both pace and in challenges are ridiculous to be beating them this well at.
Yeah, you know, if you ask many people in the Rocket League scene at the start of the season who are the best 4 players in this lobby, I think a lot of people would say Rise, Joreuz, Archie, and Vatira. Just one player from Karmine Corp in the whole Oxygen roster. But yeah, it's actually an Exotic have just been such effective players. It's actually not just with the efficient plays, but also the outplays. And Exotic just being that third man who's just happy to do the dirty work. You know, he doesn't care about making the highlight reels. He doesn't care if he's going to have the most flip resets per week. He just 50-50s the ball through you. He just goes for these little single jumps into the ball, because why make things overly complicated when the simple gameplay works in the current meta? He's one of the pioneers and one of the players at the forefront of the bot Fennec meta, ladies and gentlemen. If there's one pro player that you can't emulate in your own ranked games, your low-rated ranked games like me, it would be Exotic. He does the simple stuff better than 99% of pros.
And for a lot of the championship winning teams that we've had over the past few years, they all have that style of player. You look towards your Exotics. Look towards, well, a lot of what BDS did during their time at the peak.
He's the extra of this team. You know, and what extra was to BDS, that is what Exotic is doing for Karmine Corp, are trying to do. Just be the glue. Just bring the best out of Vatira and Itachi. When you get this much talent on the roster, when you're all on the same page, you know, you don't need to make everything flashy. In fact, it's better not to. Oh! It's actually
Sometimes
difficult
it is
to go out of nowhere.
though.
Well, he managed to get the race one, and this one rises in the area. Pre-flip from Itachi to beat him to it.
It's disrespectful. Just outright. KC do not respect anything Oxygen are doing. And why not? You already know that the last game would have rattled Oxygen. So don't let off the gas. Infield pass. Double up.
Well, this timeout doesn't look like it's worked out too well. It's just more of the same. Karmine Corp, off the back of a fake shot from Vatira, get their second goal. Itachi is on fire. Everything he touches turns to goals right now. What can Oxygen do from this point? It's gone from bad to worse. Can they get a game even, might be the thought right now. It doesn't look likely. Vatira's made it 3.
Liquid, if you're watching, this very well could be the team that you're playing against. Might be looking too far into the future on that, but Oxygen will need a historical level up in what we've seen from them. It's got worse. This is the anti-timeout buff. I've not seen this sort of thing happen coming off a timeout.
You know what the clue was today is just how calm Karmine Corp were in the pre-game. You know, it might be reading too much into it, but they just look so calm on camera. They look so calm sitting next to each other, about to play a semi-final, which, you know, should be a high-pressure situation. They've got a streak on the line here, grand finals streak, but they just look so composed. And, you know, look like they're just really enjoying the moment. You know, it doesn't look like Oxygen are having a good time right now in comparison. Vatira looking to bump Joreuz, who dodges nicely to keep the scoreline at just 3. But Archie's missed again, and it might be 4. Oh, not quite. Rise being very careful there not to own goal. The good news for Oxygen is that they've lost 3 goals so quickly. They do have a lot of time to work with here still. That's a long way back. Step 1 would be to stop Karmine Corp from adding to their tally. It seems like Oxygen have done that for now.
The bad news here for Oxygen is there is a lot of time left in this game, and it could even get worse. We will find out. 3 minutes left on the clock. Still yet to see Oxygen put anything together for themselves. This might be it. Joreuz bouncing shot. Exotic goes up to meet it. And this pace discrepancy has been more pronounced than ever in this game. It is sort of the very first thing that we look towards. Infield pass. Oh, I love this. Oh, that was so cut. He just stood there. He knew what the end play was. Do not dance to the puppet mastery that happens before it with the passing. You don't need to follow those. You just need to know what the end goal is going to be and cover that.
Yeah, you know, I absolutely love that Vatira did not pre-jump there, because there's so many teams, so many players at the top right now who would have pre-jumped there, assuming the shot's going high, and then looked really silly as the ball goes right under them on a low shot. So great job, Vatira. You know, he's covering the easy option. Of course, he could still react from that range to a high shot. Yeah, if it's a top corner shot and you've stayed on the ground, fair enough. You think you just say well played at that point. But there's nothing worse than seeing a low shot roll underneath the pre-jumping defender, which we have seen a lot recently all around the world. Vatira showing you don't need to do that. Actually, just saving your jump, saving your dodge, gives you more chance to adapt to what happens in front of you.
Every moment that goes by in this game, off the backboard, no Exotic, having none of it. KC just look indomitable when it comes to their defense. But every moment that goes by in this game, Johnny, it just hurts more and more, reminding ourselves of the final 30 seconds of game 2. What could have been for Oxygen? How different this series could have looked. Right now, they're looking right down the line of a 4-match swing required if they are going to take out KC. Don't necessarily color me all that convinced.
It's amazing to witness what this team is doing. They are destroying one of the best teams in the world, and it's not just been because of the misplays. Yes, there have been some mistakes from Oxygen, especially in game 1. That backflip from Rise is a massive moment. You know, they've gone and outplayed them at times. They've had massive plays, 1v3 outplays, efficient trades every single game. And the follow-ups on each other's plays have been right up there with the best that we've seen from teams like Gen G, who are just able to synergize on a high level consistently. Yeah, that's really the only comparison right now. You know, Team Liquid are waiting in the final, but the only comparison to the dominance and the consistency that we see from Karmine Corp right now is Gen G. That's, I think, their rival. They're trying to one-up each other. And, you know, you don't need to believe me on that. You can go look at the players on their own social medias, their Twitter. They are trying to have the more impressive regional performance. And this is one of the most impressive semifinals that we've seen from Karmine Corp.
It's kind of ridiculous, and it will be up to the teams of the regions to change this narrative a little bit. But it kind of reminds me of, you know, when there's like a big fight in boxing or something, they have a tune-up match. So build up the hype, show off the table. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's what I managed to
you can't call Oxygen a tune-up match. That's so hard. I know what you mean.
Doing to them, though.
It does look like that, though. You're not wrong. It really does look like a mismatch
how about
here.
Mandatory defense.
It does look like a total mismatch, but yeah, it's not just the efficiency to get, you know, get the tight wins, get the close wins, the 3-2s, the 1-0s that often happen in these situations. The fact that we've seen a blowout right after a timeout. This is not normal. This shouldn't happen, but it has happened because Karmine Corp are just that good. And another great team performance across the board. They are just undeniable right now. The only question is if Oxygen right now can get a game. They need to take it one game at a time. They need to play a flawless game if they're going to get a win here at all. No mistakes allowed. And, you know, they've got to start just enjoying the situation like Karmine Corp are, because I can't imagine they're having a lot of fun right now. These three players, I know them all very well. And I know that they are all susceptible to getting a little bit tilted when things are going against them, when things aren't going their way. They've got to put all that aside right now, just, you know, try and play their best, because it's a long way back. Just focus on one game. Forget about the series. Just one game. You know, press to one. Let's see what we can do.
I mean, we talk about how short of a game Rocket League can really be and how quickly everything can turn on you. In about 5.5, 6 minutes of gameplay, Oxygen have gone from, oh, hey, we're 2-1 up, probably going to go and even this series up, to, oh, we've lost that one, we've seen that one thrown away, and we've been destroyed in game 3 after our timeout.
Yeah.
It comes at you fast.
Yeah, and a couple of games so far this series have been 3 goal differences. 3-0 in game 1, 4-1 in game 3. Versus that 1 goal difference in the game in between. Oh, early start though for Oxygen. That's a miss from KC. As you can hear by our talking points before this happened, we don't expect that. That's not something we've come to expect from Karmine Corp, given what they've been able to do today. But well played, Oxygen on the board early.
Exactly what they needed, as you mentioned, one step at a time for Oxygen. Many, many steps required. Actually already up, playing with positivity, just couldn't get below the goal again. And they're just plummeting the ball back into the ground. Vatira with time to work with. Not necessarily a sentence that anybody wants to hear.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, he's just taking so much time. And to Oxygen, they don't want to go and meet them in the midfield.
Just so calm, just taking all the time in the world there, because there's no rush, no player to immediately outplay, so why hit the ball away, just Karmine Corp keeping control. This is still going to be interesting to see how Oxygen produce goals here. They've got another one, and it's another outplay. So 2 times now, they have been able to get that last little touch on the ball that Karmine Corp weren't expecting. Rise knocking it over 2, and Archie is there for the finish. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a messier Karmine Corp start in game 4.
Oxygen, just more of that. Need this and at least one more before we start believing. And even this is still not done.
There you go.
Tira, off the backboard play, just lands in the perfect spot, turns it in, and that lead is halved.
Yeah, but Tira and just an Exotic just too fast there. Jorius was trying to get behind the ball in the back corner. He was trying to guide it clear, and he just got it immediately intercepted, just stolen from right under his nose. And Exotic at the follow-up as well in the blink of an eye. You know, this is how efficient and how effective Karmine Corp have been today. You just give them the smallest win, the smallest look at net, and it's in the goal.
Archie, only as far as Archie, with Exotic waiting. You can see the positioning that KC go for. They don't immediately scramble to get back. Offering the passing option. Rise, first touch let him down. He couldn't get the reset. Off the backboard, Jorius has to make it. Oxygen are in no more mistakes allowed territory. Everything from here on out has to be perfect. And if they do end up doing this, and as I've mentioned a few times now, still very far away, they will make history as the team that kind of just did the impossible. Archie off the demo, got a bit of time to work with. That's not going to go in. Difficult shot to play for. Would have preferred to see it bounce any other way.
Oh, that's not the best read by Rise there. He had a tougher read on the crossbar.
Oh,
Tira's big one, 50-2, and it is a tie game. And just like that, Karmine Corp are back. What a mind game by Batira. Completely nullifies the clear ball as well. Well, you know, Oxygen have tried their best here, but it just seems inevitable that Karmine Corp are going to win.
Every single time we get those kind of plays, KC are there to meet it. They seem to read the game that little bit quicker. Batira already up. Is that just going to drop
No
in?
way.
Is actually to meet it?
Oh, it's over.
He's got the brace. And that may be the heart of Oxygen's comeback completely crushed.
It's just another Batira 50-50 to set up a goal. This time denying Jorius the clear and leaving it wide open for Itachi. But yeah, before that we saw a panic flip from Archie not long ago. Oxygen are definitely feeling the pressure right now. Karmine Corp continue to just plow on. You know, the only thing they hadn't done before this game, this series, was come back from behind. Now they've done that as well. So they've just had the complete series at the moment.
I think it's at the point where we're sort of reaching now when it comes to finding ways that teams can beat KC. So KC probably just said in their own little comms, all right, they're going to say this. Maybe this is the way. Let's just do this now so that way we can get that complaint out as well. For Liquid, they do away. They are in the form of their lives. Based on what we've seen here, Johnny, they're going to have to be.
Yeah, Liquid have also gone on a very impressive run to make it into the final. I think that they definitely have a chance. They've beaten Karmine Corp in a grand final before this season. And it was more recently than Oxygen's win against Karmine Corp in the playoffs. Karmine Corp they've just got such a menacing look about them today. Such a confidence not only in themselves but in each other. The amount of times I've seen a 50-50 drop down and then a Karmine Corp player be ready for it is kind of mind-blowing. They're believing in each other's ability to win 50-50s now, which
there's a team
I guess
that,
shows you how
I
confident
remember
they are.
saying that a lot about as there goes yet another one. Hat-trick for Itachi. Very much deserves it. But whenever we talk about world-class teams in modern Rocket League, that seems to be the common thread, the instant follows on everything, that level of trust. And it's a level of trust that you only really get mostly by going on runs like this, when the big problems, when losing is almost, not seen. And right now, that is the position that KC have found themselves in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay. Well, probably the only double tap that KC have missed today.
Oh, he made that very hard for himself, but he's managed to double it wide. Well played to recover that very awkward situation, Exotic. And yeah, it does just continue to look like Karmine Corp's game. Oh, hold that thought. Okay, chance is there. Oxygen finally capitalized on a missed rotation from Karmine Corp. Nice positioning from Archie to give Joreuz the option. And that did actually come off a Karmine Corp player on his way to him. So he had to react quickly. But they need to think of a good kickoff strategy to get possession. They've lost the majority of possessions off kickoffs today. They're going to try and deflect this one back right. Joreuz is there for it, but he gets dunked on by Exotic. Already Karmine Corp are in the mix in the midfield.
Oh, Demo, and Archie's going to go hunting for Exotic. They should be back in.
Oh my.
What a play. Exotic. Nowhere to be found for the Demo. Everywhere to be found when it came to defensive duties.
Unbelievable by Exotic. He's in a 1v3 there. He's got to cover the pass. He's got to cover the shot. He's got to dodge the Demo. He did all three at the same time. And there's no way Rise is keeping this up. He gets dunked on. And that is game over. 2 straight before the timeout, 2 straight afterwards. Karmine Corp are just too good. Oxygen could not compete with them mentally. They could not compete with them on the pitch. And yeah, they just got outplayed in pretty much every single way today. Back to the drawing board for them. For Karmine Corp, it's another grand final. 5 straight regional grand finals. That's an unfathomable accomplishment in the European region.
We had a lobby remake, and we're still only an hour and a half into today's broadcast, Johnny. That is how fast we seem to be going. Oh, wow. I put 4-3 for both of the semifinals today.
I had 4-3 for this one as well. It looked like it might be a smart call after the 2-1 lead for Oxygen materialized on Forbidden Temple.
I mean, at least we still picked KC. I do believe a Chronic went Oxygen.
Did he?
If I remember.
I actually am not sure. I can't remember. Maybe checking out that one. But
I know he had the interview, a very good interview as well. But for KC, they do have Team Liquid waiting in the wings, and it was an impressive victory from Team Liquid. It was a destructive victory from Oxygen, and we'll get to see these two teams in the grand finals when we come back.
Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple. But you said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! This time, fire! Try to clear this away. Landing call up with the man. Picked up the steam. It's still there for Jimmy. He scored!
Into the night, the city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows landed upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. No more patience when I'm feeling low.
Our speed run here on Championship Sunday carries on as Carmine Court crushes Oxygen Esports as they make their way to the grand finals and clinch their spot at the Winter Major. Carmine Court carrying some momentum into the finals here, where Team Liquid awaits them. I'm Lee Fex. We have Achieves hanging out, and Shogun has decided to join us on the desk. Shogun, I know you're a big fan of efficiency. You're still looking for that perfect sweep of the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, but this is kind of a good second. This is a good crush for the day.
Listen, I would say that I'm definitely more about the destination than I am about the journey, but I could do with at least the journey having something to it. All right, there's no sightseeing to be had in this so far. It's just, all right, they're done. All right, they're done. Wow, KC, that was impressive in a series that I thought was going to be 4-3, that Johnny also agreed with me that this could be a 4-3. Didn't even make it look close. Oxygen looked great for the opening 2 minutes. They looked pretty good when they were 2-1 up in game 2. That's about as far as it went.
Yeah, and it's a tragedy because I hate that I was just like, it's either amazing or it's an absolute stomp. Well, you got the stomp here, so hopefully the finals turn out a little bit differently. But K-Corp, I said they didn't look their best yesterday. They definitely looked like you got their best today. I think you said it right when that game started, Shogun. They're always a little bit different on Champion Sunday, and you could not have been more right.
It's the big thing when it comes to KC of they're maybe not the best when it comes to Friday or Saturday, but the thing is when we talk about their floor is still going to get them through to Sunday. Like there is not a team that is going to eliminate them, even when they're playing 60%. And that's the reason why you're looking at the bracket you've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is here's the thing. Nothing against Quadrant. I'm always voting for them to win too. But out of these 2 4-0s, these results, the Oxygen one surprises me a bit more. As Oxygen achieves, this ain't a result. If you're gunning for the top, what's the thought process after a match like this?
I think the thought process after that one is shrug your shoulders and say, well played. They definitely just played better than us today. I don't think you have to doubt yourself or anything or Oxygen or really doubt the game plan. I think it's just, you know what? K-Corp came out and they were on top today. And I don't think it really has to be much deeper than that. I think you can just admit you just got beat.
Well, you see on the other side there too, Liquid, they got their stomp. They're going to carry some momentum in. They had a bit of a break while we waited for this other semifinal to finish here, but we do have our 2 finalists here K-Corp and Liquid will be battling it off. Let's start chatting this out. K-Corp on just a tear. They look like they're so happy. But Liquid on the other side also looking confident. We talked to Chronic. He had just a good air to him, a good atmosphere. They're feeling confident with the team. So 2 Rolling Stones coming into this grand final here. I'm very excited to see how this clash goes. Shogun, I mean, obviously K-Corp has maybe a bit more of an advantage coming into this as they did just play. But, maybe for Team Liquid, they had time to sit and dissect and figure out the game plan coming in.
I mean, for Liquid, they've shown us, no matter what happens here, they've shown us something completely different, which is consistency, which is getting it going on day number 1. That doesn't usually happen. This is one of those teams that we look at and just go, they are contenders if they peak. I don't think they've had to on this one. This looks like something that they can do week in, week out, and be consistently at this kind of level. Then you can rely on your peak to go and win yourself a championships. That's a brilliant place to go and find yourself in. So for Team Liquid, this is the tournament of dreams for their fans, and maybe it can get even better with a victory here, Chiefs.
Yes, definitely would be a great cap off to really signal that, yep, we're still KC, we're still out here, and we're definitely going to say we're the team to beat in Europe. And Team Liquid, I think, really have, I don't know if they have you obviously have your work cut out for you, but I think if you're Team Liquid, you can feel confident knowing that you've played really, really well up to this point, and this is the one you were waiting for, I think, if you're Team Liquid, because it's like, okay, here's the real test now. Everyone can say what they want going up to this point, but we have a chance here to really show that this was always for us, not anyone else.
I think there is something to be said about that, to be honest, because you even look at the cams, the match before against Oxygen, which is a very strong team, they were extremely just loose happy. They were dancing. A little more focus on the face right now. It looks like they're still trying to have fun, but there is definitely focus. I think they're realizing maybe the threat that Team Liquid might present them on the other side of the field. When you see an opponent, again, Quadrant, not a bad team either, but when you see an opponent like Team Liquid 4-0, their opponent coming into this, there's a bit of respect, I think, maybe being given to their opponents coming into this grand final. It's a single best of 7. There isn't a second chance. There's no bracket reset or nothing. So you got to win it here. I think I got to swear they're listening to the broadcast. They have to be. Because he's like, yeah,
they're waiting for us to be on camera, and then it's our time.
They're taking a look.
Okay, and I'm gonna give us some hopium. I'm gonna give us some hopium because I feel like I know where everyone's gonna go here. But we need to remind ourselves, Carmine Corp did lose to Team Liquid in the Invitational last split, 4-2. Maybe history repeats itself. That being said, KC have seemingly taken that major loss to heart. That looks like it's lit a fire underneath them, but there is history there. This is not an unbeatable team. It's just a very, 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 I can continue that for like 10 more seconds, difficult team to beat.
This is, you know what it was? Why they were quiet is because Vatira was tweeting to he was tweeting to the fact that the record that Carmine Corp and Vatira have tied the European RLCS team and individual records for most grand appearances.
Yes, wasn't even that long ago. It was not even 2 years, man.
So let's get your predictions in here. It's going to be a doozy. I'm hoping a fun one. We got our 4-0s out of the way. Let's get a good match to end off Championship Sunday here. Who do you think's going to take it? I think KC's looking like maybe the favorites coming into this one. Let's talk analysts. We didn't pre-do ours on this one, so I want this to be a bit of a surprise. There's maybe potential for some argument. I'm not sure. I got to start it off by saying I feel absurd going Team Liquid, so I have to go K-Corp on this one. I mean, we saw what they look like coming into this, and I think it'd be absurd, but maybe there's an argument. What do you guys think of Chiefs?
I would say if Itachi didn't absolutely look like he could beat anybody in that previous match, I would feel a lot more confident picking Liquid. And because Itachi played so well, I'm leaning K-Corp because it doesn't take much, right? You just need one weak link, and that's really what Team Liquid is. Like they're all three very well rounded, but Itachi rounded out K-Corp last game, and
I know you're leaning, but which side you
I
fall
want
on?
K-Corp. Give me K-Corp.
You're going to fall on the side of K-Corp. Okay,
Yeah.
Shogi, is there any argument to be made for Team Liquid here?
Of course, there's an. They 4-0 noise.
My question is, are you going to make the argument for them?
Absolutely not. They
No way.
two of the best teams in Europe, and I still don't think that they have a chance in this one. I'll go a step further. This will be 75% plus for KC over on this one. Team Liquid have beat Vitality, much like
so close.
Oh, okay, I was very close. They've beat everybody without looking at all like there's a weakness, and I don't think they stand a chance.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a definitive answer in a few moments here because Cole and Stumpy are standing by for your grand finals. Our speedrun of Championship Sunday continues, maybe. Together, these teams stand 8-0 on their Championship Sunday, but of course, one must concede in our grand finals. Which team holds the momentum from the previous round and gets crowned champion?
Two teams who have already 4-0 today now foray into the grand finals, a place where Liquid are no strangers, but Carmine Corp, Stumpy, they're never not a part of this stage.
They have tied that record. This is their 5th appearance in a row. An unbelievable stat for a team that are determined to not only break records, but set the world on fire in their path. But will Liquid be able to douse those flames? Vatira, he certainly hopes not, because they, alongside Carmine Corp, had an issue yesterday dealing with German Amigos, and they have clearly come out a different side today.
The best teams learn every single series they have, whether they win it or lose it, they find ways to adapt and come forwards. And Carmine Corp are proving they have that adaptability. Already Vatira's got an early chance, not quite able to sink it. But this is the team that are coming off the back more recently than Liquid of that 4-0. Will that momentum make a big difference?
I feel like they've just both got the same momentum. Coming into this game, there's the arguments for who's hot, who's a little bit cooler, but I think when you're in the grand final, all of your adrenaline comes straight back into your body. You start to feel it in your veins, and Liquid are currently 17-3 in games this entire event. That is a bonkers statistic. The fact they've only dropped 3 games, they've not lost a series, blows my mind. And that kind of consistency and that persistence to reach that top flight of European RLCS is going to be giving them a huge shot here against KC. And bear in mind they're head-to-head too. They've played each other 3 times recently, and so far, Liquid are the benefactors of that. They have gone 2-1 versus them, and also winning the most recent matchup in EU Fall 3, 4-2 in favor of Liquid.
Well, so far, I'd say it's Carmine Corp that had the better start, and Itachi, he finishes that first sentence with a flourish.
Good pass up as well from Vatira. Flicks it back down, and a 3-man passing play falling finally to Itachi. Bottom left corner. Oski was there, just not able to get enough mustard on that to pinch it out. A minute 20, and KC are up by 1.
And this is what they've been doing throughout the entire season, Carmine Corp. I mean, you mentioned they had a few struggles yesterday against German Amigos, but that's probably the most we've seen them struggle online for quite some time. So barring that waiver, their consistency is what sets them apart.
And for sure, they're also, congratulations to them, they've made the major. They've clinched a spot already. They've not even won this grand finals, but their performance has been so phenomenal that they are able to, reach them so frequently. It's just trying to transition that online performance into that LAN performance, because we've seen how devastated this team becomes when they don't reach those highs.
As for Team Liquid, they currently find themselves 1 goal behind, trying to get back into this first game. It's going to be difficult when Exotic is sweeping them all away, and Vatira has control of the ball. A flick reset for him, an early warning. Another one for Liquid. They're finding the way through the goal. Carmine Corp, it's 2-0 and it's simple.
2-0, not yet half-time, and this time Itachi setting up Exotic, turning it back around Atto, and able to get his nose to it, incredibly close, devastatingly so, but Exotic able to just be slightly taller in his high-up Fennec. KC looking like the stronger team, and that offense throughout this event has definitely been their star point.
Yeah, they are top for goals scored, and the sort of goals they're scoring as well is something that you can never take away from them. The defending as well isn't too bad either, and so far they're making Liquid look a little bit blunt. We haven't had too many opportunities for Team Liquid to really venture forward and apply their own squeeze against the Carmine Corp defense. This could be a chance though. Atto over the top, Vatira almost misses, and that's about as close as you can ever say about Vatira.
Yeah, decent chance there for Liquid, but again, a pass central. Lots of passing plays coming into KC. Certainly seems to be the flavour of the day. A Chronic up for that double. Down, but just too much of an angle. Doesn't end up being too devastating on that burst then. So Oski comes in for the pass from Atto. Chance for Chronic to take it slow. Oski declines to touch that ball. Instead, relinquishes control back over towards Exotic. Atto pinching central. Vatira half flipping to maintain that control. And now Liquid, chance to push.
Karmine Corp, who will probably still be reeling to an extent from the disappointment that was the Rotterdam Major. They would have felt it was theirs with their crowd there on EU soil. And they are just sweeping everyone away in their path back in Europe to make it to San Diego and ensure that the same mistakes will not happen. You mentioned the emotions they have, Stumpy. Of a player like Vatira, he feels every win more than anybody else, but also feels every loss so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to hate the fact that he, of course, was so successful with Moist, but he's not been able to transfer that over for Karmine Corp. With support of the blue wall, they will certainly be wanting that to occur. Vatira in the midfield, passing down towards a Chronic, who ends up trying to go for a little touch off that side wall. Justin S from a couple of lands ago now at this point, but definitely reminded me of it.
They go quick nowadays.
They really do. Oski, though, continuing down that right wall past Central. 2 players having to commit from Karmine Corp there, and Oski is the last man back.
You can see the importance of Itachi as well. 2 of the Karmine Corp players were just drawn in to the Liquid mechanics, but Itachi is never going to fall for it. He's happy to be that safe pair of hands in the center of the pitch. Look at him underneath this one, allowing his more mechanical teammate, Exotic, just to get a big clearance. Itachi's in the sky, waiting for a Chronic, trying to bait him out. So he's trying to cause some damage to the Karmine Corp defense. Maybe already Liquid thinking they're going to have to just tweak things a little bit, because up to now, KC looked fairly impenetrable.
Exotic catching in the midfield. He goes high above Oski, and now a chance for the third. The flick continuing again. This power duo. Karmine Corp is not all about Vatira. Exotic and Itachi linking up together allow magic to happen.
3-0. 3-0 in game number 1 of another grand final for Karmine Corp. And my goodness, do they make it look simple. You feel that they're still playing within themselves. This is the Team Liquid that have not conceded a game in the quarterfinals, but didn't concede a game earlier on in the semi-finals to Quadrant, who knocked out Vitality. And now you look at them, and Karmine Corp are making them look decidedly average. This is a supreme performance already. It's only game 1 in a best of 7, but you're up against a huge mountain in KC.
I mean, Liquid, as you say, they haven't lost a game since groups on Friday. It has been a couple of nights sleep since then, and that is the first one they are going to be falling to. Karmine Corp, their shadow extends over the realm of Europe. Liquid have got a lot of work to do to try and climb up that mountain, but it is by no means an unclimbable feat.
There is no weak spot at all for Karmine Corp. Vatira is the player that's always mentioned, and perhaps that was unfair to refer to Itachi as Exotic's less mechanical teammate, because in the last couple of tournaments, his mechanics have stepped up hugely as well.
But at least you're not tweeting like T-Bates is and saying that Vatira carries K-Corp. You're not that naive.
Lol. Let's all laugh at T-Bates, but we can
Everyone
stay
laugh at T-Bates.
Right, all right.
T-Bates. T-Bates.
Listen, stop it. We don't need to make everyone laugh at T-Bates. They're going to do that by themselves anyway. Let's you and I focus on this match right here, right now. Karmine Corp dominating in game number 1. Did you see anything from Team Liquid?
I think Liquid had a couple of decent chances, but I think they're trying to go for a couple of simple shots, which then just gives that control back over towards Karmine Corp. And I've told them off before for going for too complicated shots. It's trying to find that middle ground. Don't always go for those flip resets to then try and score. Sometimes just hit it hard. That's how they were beating teams in groups before, is just by going for a couple simple opportunities and outspeeding your opponent, which Atto has done immediately, pinching top right corner of the net, but not a goal to start Liquid off.
Atto, who has been pivotal so far for Team Liquid in this tournament, their star performer, mechanically speaking at least. Let's it down to a Chronic there. Better start for Team Liquid this time. A good pass across the side. Atto is there yet again, buzzing around by the KC sort of head just being swatted, but always getting that ball.
The Chronic's catching the midfield. It bounces nicely for Liquid to maintain a bit of control here. Flicked high. Oski, though, only finding Exotic on the other side. With 30 boost, he passes it back over towards Itachi. No touch coming in for a Chronic on the backboard. Instead, leaves it nicely for Oski. He can dribble it round 1. In the skies, he is alone until Vatira pre-jumps him. It goes low. It goes on the goal line, but nobody can make contact with Liquid until a Chronic, the man to make it 1.
Coming in from the third man was a Chronic, and he breathed some life into this series. It was Oski and Atto, causing all sorts of damage between them. And a Chronic, I mean, he could do that a million times and never miss one of them. 1-0 Liquid.
first minute very much going the way that Liquid want to as well, because if they concede early on, then the idea of, God, KC really are impenetrable starts to come in their head. But the gods do bleed.
And as well, this is the newer version of Liquid as well, as they put a second one away. 2-0 from Oski. I'll talk in a second about their playstyle switch, but now let's just enjoy it.
A pure outplay from Oski too. It bounces very awkwardly for KC off that corner. Vatira has to try and dive in as early as he can, but large Oscar is already waiting and lurking and is able to boot that one in the back of the net.
And it's balanced. That is the change for Team Liquid in this event. They've always had the ability to explode into life like they have right now as they made it 3. The 3 of them are playing so well together, Stumpy.
Immediately off the kickoff as well, it's Exotic actually whipping that ball, and Atto, I think, is gifted a bit of a goal there. Sees it bouncing his way, is up for somewhat of a, okay, if he misses, lol, if that ends up happening, but manages to make contact.
So anyway, as I was saying, Stumpy, Team Liquid have come into this event with a slightly different play style. They're a bit more balanced around the pitch, no longer leaving a Chronic as the isolated third man trying to chase everything. They're more capable of slowing down the ball when it's needed and just going toe-to-toe in the midfield. And it's really working for them. Thankfully, they've stopped scoring long enough for me to make that point.
There you go, you're welcome. Atto just wanted to make sure that I could compliment him for capitalising on a bit of a whiff, a very, very rare whiff from anybody from KC. Itachi passed the match to Vatira on that chance. Oski is the man back to catch it into the corner. And another pass central and another goal, KC.
There was the trade in the top right of your screen. You'd have seen it, a demo, but it turned it into a 2v2 that was won by Carmine Corp. It's actually a lovely touch towards Exotic. And the finish wasn't bad either. He still had a lot to do.
Yeah, going to the opposite top corner. Nice way to slice it across the net. Forbidden Temple is going to be seeing that goal deficit cut down to just 2 this time. Macron able to get on the end of that kickoff. High in the centre, Atto, can he get the double? That does go incredibly far out, but the pass central, Catalysm-esque, dare I say, from yesterday.
Oski with the fast shot. Itachi, it's a good touch, and then dribbles it round the side. Calm and collected play from the Moroccan. It just falls to Oski. Staring down Exotic. Where are you going to put this ball? It's just into here where Vatira lay. Atto can put it to the side. And I think Liquid are going to be happy with this one just being, you know, a back and forth boomer ball smash for a little while.
I mean, it burns off time for the clock for Liquid. I mean, if they're able to hold it off for another minute or so without conceding, and if they can ward off any of these attempts, which they manage to yet again, and they're going to be looking good going into the final 90 seconds. But still half the game left, and we're going to be seeing whether KC do manage to fall back in line.
Oski's going to try and win this ball and win the boost. He's managed both, so well onto him. Another trade.
Another trade.
So both teams going for these demos. The Chronic has to be aware that that one is going on target. So with Exotic closing down, Carmine Corp have upped the pace, upped the pressure as well. Getting more lurks on the orange net. But these all important touches for Liquid. They're keeping them in it. You know, Carmine Corp can have their possession, but as long as they get something on the ball, then Liquid will survive, but they didn't there.
Shoo! Getting that touchdown. Vatira doesn't get that second. Imagine gets called off by Itachi, who can then keep it low, pass it right. Vatira can slam it far left. Brilliant movement from KC around the pitch. And the final 2 minutes, we said that Liquid are going to need to hold off on a couple of goals going in. That goal deficit down to just 1.
Sheesh indeed, my friend. Sheesh indeed. It looks so comfortable for Team Liquid. But Carmine Corp, you can never count them out. There's still 4.5 minutes left, or however long Liquid had put on the board when they scored their 3rd goal. Now they're going to have to make sure they don't count too far in their own half. If they turtle up, they're not going to have a good time against KC. That's better from a Chronic, closing down the KC attack quickly, defending from the front. That's why Team Liquid are one of the best defenders in this event. It's not because of their goal line clearances.
Yeah, they make sure they're attacking as many balls as they can actively rather than waiting for it to become a passive opportunity. The midfield is where Liquid want to make sure that they are defending from, because if you make sure that they're not taking those harsh shots on net, then that is where you can make sure that they're not going to be easy follow-ups. You're not going to be having just a couple of goals trickle in because you've used all of your boost on having to make a wonder save.
Oh, that doubles up the difference again. And who better than Atto to stick the boot in?
Oski with one flip reset does get caught out by the defender, and the immediate shot from Atto sees Itachi just moved into the goal a smidge, sees an opportunity left-hand side and breaks that window for the 4th goal on the side of Liquid.
The dream of having a match on Championship Sunday that isn't 4-0 to either team is alive, Stumpy. We just have to hope as a community, will Liquid, into surviving these next 55 seconds, without conceding a couple, but Karmine Corp is still so dangerous. Atira pumps it forward. Oski's already there. Itachi's coming in. Does he have the pass? Not quite this time, but the dunk is still on the menu. Sort it with Atira in the center. So desperate to get the ball to him. He manages it, but maybe it's one touch too many, and that chance goes begging.
It's hurried offense now from KC as they try and get anything to come and go their way. 30 seconds remaining. Midfield drawn by Itachi, but the ball being just booted too far away from his car, leaves it open for Oski to tackle. Left-hand side sees Exotic, just pass it back over to a Chronic, and a demo from Oski.
Well done.
These guys on Liquid are second at the moment, this event for demos. I haven't really seen them be too pivotal, but the fact that they're going to be able to scare KC away from the ball every now and then is going to unsettle them somewhat.
Because KC always seems to have so much control, so taking off a third of their firepower, that's a pretty good thing to do, and they're able to just squeeze the life out of this one, Stumpy. This is going to be Liquid's game, and we are going to have a series in this final. And I'll tell you what, mate, I'm relieved that this won't be a 4-0. I want so many games of this.
It's not a 4-0!
Hey!
Oh, that does make me incredibly happy. Thank you, Liquid, for not giving us a 4-0. And Blue Wall, sorry that I'm... I'm sorry, Blue Wall, that I'm celebrating that your team just lost a single game. But we go into game number 3 and we find ourselves level pegging yet again. And a great turnaround for Liquid there too. Getting a few on the trot is going to be a confidence booster.
Completely. I think the fact that they started this second game so well is going to make it easier for Karmine Corp to wipe that one off. You know, it was a bit of a dead match. Karmine Corp came back, but when you're 3 goals down, I mean, I don't know what the actual statistics are. I'm guessing it's not high to win a match from 3 goals down. So we go now into the third map, and I think that Karmine Corp are going to be pretty chill despite losing that one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Karmine Corp clearly have a game plan. They know that they are going to be in the grand finals against another best team in Europe. They know they've been here 5 times in a row, let's bear in mind.
Oh, yeah.
So they are completely aware of what these entail. A 4-0 is going to be rare in the grand finals. Unless you're Gen G in North America, sometimes it just sort of happens. But opportunities to show off why you are going to be going through, ideally for Karmine Corp, as the #1 team in Europe to the San Diego Major, which, by the way, everyone can buy tickets for still. Exclamation mark tickets in the chat. Please make sure you do. I'd love to go and see you there. And rep your teams if you are going to be going.
I am completely certain, by the way, you mentioned Gen G. They've publicly said that they're looking forward to playing KC and vice versa. These teams on Twitter have said that they wish to play each other. I bet Gen G are watching this one right now and taking notes about what Team Liquid are doing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if Team Liquid are going to be able to take down a couple of games, ideally... They just can't get goals like that, however.
Oh, that was so close from Oski. The redirect of his dreams that they're going to keep on going. Atto can still turn it into gold, and he manages it. 1-0 Liquid.
Did not slow down for a second. The pass central, Exotic did not know that was coming in, and Atto chasing the ball like a rat down a drain pipe. The first minute sees Liquid with 1.
He's so nimble. The speed that he showed there to keep that one alive. And it shows reason number 7568 why we're not pros. You and I, we were mourning the fact that goal didn't go in from Oski. They just got on with it and scored.
Minute gone, up are Liquid, and Itachi wants to make it even. A pass central again. Those passes are starting to be found out by Liquid.
Yeah, they're reading them. You're right. That's a huge momentum shift as well. But they can go solo. Vatira's going to try and do just that. Actually, he fakes it for Itachi. That was a real chance for Itachi, but the attack continues with Vatira now. Round the corner he wants to go. Wants to just force this one into the top right, but Liquid hold firm.
Vatira's control in the air there was like a ballerina with a ball on their nose. Being able to hold it high and then continue wrapping around it is blowing my mind.
Do you think ballerina?
Don't dive into it. Don't dive into it.
Okay, let's just
don't
carry on. Let's hope the defense don't dive into this one as Atto is asking questions of Exotic. Good clearance. Vatira did have a pass to the left. I think he should have found his teammate there.
2 minutes gone, and this lead still for Liquid. Opportunities arising again to make it 2, but Vatira saving it away into that back right corner. Oski doesn't get there too convincingly in the center for a pass. Reluctant to, I think, dive in particularly deep, knowing that this lead can be held. But you said, Cole, that their best defense is by attacking.
Yeah, they're still an incredibly fast team, our Team Liquid, even though we're talking about how they have added that extra bit of balance. Maybe most boost used to. I know that in the majority of regionals, Oski and Atto are the top 2 for average pace. They just keep on flying, right?
Yeah,
they will never
their boost down.
They use it. Oh, Vatira is just about saving. Exotic's coming in. But Oski with the in and out keeps it away. It's still Casey knocking on the door, though. Will that be the answer? Not with Oski there. More great defending from Team Liquid. Atto meets Itachi. Exotic is just waiting. And Carmine Corp fans will be happy that their players seem to be having so much time on the ball. Liquid are penned right back at the moment.
Until Oski can try and work it over the top of Vatira. Can't do it on that occasion. And a few pre-jumps coming out as well from the Carmine Corp defense, as now Itachi challenges on a Chronic, who wonderfully gets around a couple of them and steals the boost too. That is going to be shutting down Carmine Corp in the short term.
That's a good pop from Atto. Oski is just watching it. How many players can he get by? A couple of them, but not all the way. As Vatira sends it long. A good open game of Rocket League, this one. Exotic and a Chronic in the center. Atto, he's got this bump on his side. Brilliant from a Chronic, and Atto does the easy job.
A Chronic chases, and Atto is able to find an opening. Wonderful work by the duo. Double A getting it done with electric play.
Liquid could not be happier with how the last couple of games have gone, and suddenly it's Carmine Corp that are going to have questions asked about them. Exotic could answer them right now, though, if one more touch goes his way. He's got the ceiling reset, but it's not going to do anything for him. And this is when you start to get frustrated as Casey, when you're turning your car around, chasing it back to your own half.
80 seconds, 2 goals, and another bump attempt. Atto shooting across the net. But look at the movement by Oski to shut down that defense yet again.
Liquid just showing their patience. Oski, yeah, Exotic.
Just go
try and jump, mate. You're going to have Oski over the top of you, and he is an imposing fella. You can't lift him up and out of the sky, so 3-0, it was always going to happen.
He stole my lunch money at the Spring Major.
And you're tall.
I'm a big boy, and that man, he got my £4.30. I was going to get a slice of pizza.
In your own country as well, in London.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Brutal.
3 goals for the good now for Team Liquid. Starting to have some fun with this one. Reading what KC are putting down on the table. Exotic up against Oski. KC, what can they get going? They had games like this yesterday, Stumpy, against German Amigos. Is that the experience they're going to rely on here?
I think they are wildly different teams. I think whatever you learn from German Amigos, unfortunately for KC, can't really be applied here. Mentality-wise, maybe by going down in a series, because German Amigos did go ahead 2-1 to start us off. But Liquid, they are pushing as hard as they can. They're not absorbing any KC attack. They're not letting KC attack. Atto flicking it wonderfully over the crossbar, saved away, and a pass towards the side. Oski didn't want that ball to be flowing back into the blue half.
And look how unsure Itachi was made as well. Normally, he is supremely confident with where all other 5 cards are on the pitch. He was floating to that ball. He had no idea where Liquid were, because they're currently running rings around Carmine Corp all over the pitch. That's a real good sign of how Liquid are playing this one. 10 seconds are ticking down. The game is dead. The series, though, well and truly alive as we're going to head to game 4.
2-1 in favor of Liquid. Myself, Cole, Shogun, and Johnny all predicted a Carmine Corp, not a garbage time goal, but maybe a Carmine Corp win in the grand finals. Regardless, if Liquid get this, we stay with the same amount of points, so it's no real problem. And Carmine Corp, they do sense a problem as a timeout is called.
That's pretty baller, really. Smashing in a finish into the top right and then just typing in timeout. That's the man who has got something to say, is Itachi right now. And I'm sure all of the Carmine Corp team and their coach do. They are going to have to talk this one through. Team Liquid, though, it's all working for them. The plays are happening. The solo plays are looking pretty devastating. And Carmine Corp look pensive. They look worrisome of themselves.
I mean, they looked so confident before the series started. And I think now, I think you can start off being confident and you can be dancing and having fun and chatting to your teammates and whatever else. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to brass tacks, you're going to need to make sure that you have got your head 100% in the game. I don't doubt that KC are doing that, of course, and making sure that, their confidence is what carries them through. That is what makes them such a phenomenal team. However, Liquid are just shutting them down. When they're attacking as hard as they are, and they are being faster in a lot of ways too, as we've seen that Oski and Atto do manage to do, KC, I think, can struggle to deal with that. When they're used to being the fastest team, when they're used to being the most attacking team, when someone outdoes them, that's when it becomes a little bit of a wake-up call that maybe you do have those weak spots. And sorry to keep rambling, timeout stats are still ridiculous. When a team takes a timeout, on average, goals scored double. They go from about 1 goal per game to 1.91 per game, and you cut down the chance of yourself conceding by around 43%.
Now, if I were a man of maths, Stumpy, I would remind you that Carmine Corp didn't... Oh, they did score, actually. No, they scored the garbage time goal. I was going to be so clever, but they scored right at the end. That means they're nailed on to get 2 goals in this next game on Utopia.
I back you to be clever one day, though.
Me too. I really thought that was the moment. And then halfway through my mouth moving,
I can tell you've got a lot of lost pride right now.
Yeah, it's tough. I won the drawing competition in the pre-show, though. So, you know, that's all that matters to me. What I was going to say earlier on was that this is such an important moment for Coach Eversax as well, because he has to know his team. Do they need to be talked through the theory? Do they need to be, you know, kicked at the backside? Do they need to have an arm around their shoulders? All of these definitely important in moments where theories are going against you.
And Liquid in this time, bear in mind they've got the same 2 minutes. We've got the same 2 minutes in a day, and it's very true. Now I feel prideful. How's this happened? And Liquid, they are going to be able to go into Utopia thinking we can get ourselves a series point, a championship point here in Europe, and it's something that they've not done, you know, since the end of fall. In the previous split, it would be huge for them and their chances for that major. They're currently sitting in 4th, I believe, to be going through. So they're in a good spot, but a win that really elevates them.
Yeah, I mean, a win here surely all but guarantees them a spot at the next major. It won't be locked in, but as close as you can be. But we are jumping ahead to the future. That's our mistake because it's 1-0 KC right here, right now.
We're in the future, Exotic is in the present, and Vatira is setting him up with one. Exotic being able to just tap that in after the flick going from that side wall, and within 19 seconds of game number 4, KC take their well-deserved lead.
The tactical timeout, suddenly KC look like a team reborn. They're feeling it, they're able to speed up against Team Liquid and actually beat them to the ball occasionally, because I can't remember too many times in the last couple of games where Carmine Corp were straight up beating Liquid. They had possession, but it was mainly when Liquid let them have it.
Yeah, Liquid, I feel, controlled the pace definitely of that third game, but KC, they are more than capable of wrestling that kind of control back. Make sure that they are going to be supersonically flying around the pitch, and passing plays continue to pepper that net.
Love it from Carmine Corp right there. Look at Itachi go in a second. Sorry, look at Exotic go in a second. Just taking that extra little touch. It's always that extra touch at this level of Rocket League. You might adjust the angle by 30%. Makes it impossible to defend against.
And just delaying it too. The defender had no idea when that second touch is coming in. Sure, you can presume all you want, but faking like that as well is going to be putting the Liquid defense on pressure. The defender had no idea, and suddenly KC on the other side of a 3-goal thriller within a minute.
I think that this is a little bit slower than Liquid's 3 goals that they scored in game 2. I could be wrong there, but I think that was about
faster.
Is it faster? Was that one before 40?
I think it was like 3:59 or something.
That's the real battle. Who cares who wins the series?
Oh, I'm looking at the statistician now. Direct, my guy. If I'm wrong, just don't type anything. Cheers, mate.
Cool, okay. Anyway, what matters right now, really more than anything, I'll be honest, is the fact that it's 3-0 to Carmine Corp, and Liquid...
What a turnaround.
Are suddenly the ones looking a little bit shell-shocked. It could be 4. Vatira's beaten by Atto. Attaching to Vatira again. I fully expected Vatira to appear in my screen and redirect that one in.
Yeah, I was kind of a little bit disappointed that we saw a Liquid defender just clear it away instead.
Yeah.
But Atto's removing one of the attacking players, and out dribbled Itachi. The man dribbling past the defenders time and time again.
Carmine Corp, they just don't always need to rely on the aerial plays. There was a beautiful dribble from Vatira yesterday against German Amigos, and it involved a wave dash, and that was Itachi's turn. 4-0 now to Carmine Corp.
And I think that 4-0 is faster than the 3-0 that Liquid managed to get. So, you know what? Fair play, Korko. I think you win that round.
That's fair. Oski sends it long. Liquid trying to whir up those engines. There is a 0% win percentage in EU after going 4-0 down. So odds aren't on their favor, but there's a lot of time left. So that's the only plus side here.
It's time to potentially change those stats, but my God, the numbers are against Liquid right now, especially against the best attacking team in Europe at the moment. Itachi wants to go low with that challenge again. Vatira catching it in the midfield and potentially just damage control for the egos of Liquid, because worst case, they then go to 2-all in the series, but it's still quite devastating to lose 4 before halftime.
Oh, especially when the clearances aren't working. Everything's going against Liquid right now. They do not want to be humiliated here. Can really start to get in your head if that's what happens. Vatira up to the backboard, wants to make it 5. Of course he does. Lato clears it. Oski's there. Oski's going to keep things going. Liquid, fair play to them, have stepped up, and they're not shrinking into their shells.
Matto shying away from that ball, leaving a Chronic to go for it instead. But with low boost, he can't do too much because Exotic just wait patiently on that goal line. Pinched high, Vatira first to it with the long shot. Weirdly, it's actually, if you're down 4 goals, there's a 0% chance that you're going to win a game. But if you're down 5 goals, that goes up to a 10% winning chance. Isn't that mad?
Is that a joke? I think
it is absolutely a joke. No, they have just made it worse.
Then it can't be 5-0 because it has already been 4-0. Okay, yeah. So I thought you were going to say that now there's like a minus 0% chance.
It's minus 0%. At the risk of getting too liquid streamy here, but we don't talk about the game. Is minus 0% a thing? I'm going to assume no.
No.
Cool.
It's not.
Well, I'll trust you. I trust you with that.
It's about as much of a thing as the chance of Liquid winning in this game from 5-0 down, which...
minus 0%-ish.
Oh my goodness, let's just enjoy Carmine Corp, because they're still pumping out banger after banger.
God! Wow! The speed to get up to that Vatira, and he just ends up floating to it. He knows that he is going to be able to get that redirect. Nobody on Liquid can catch up to him. 6-0. Under 2 minutes remaining, and they are flying.
I mean, it's the series is seeming like one that can go all the way. This game certainly won't. Utopia is the stomping ground of Carmine Corp. Vatira almost fakes out his Liquid opponent. Atto sends it forwards, though. And Liquid just... Because a goal or two here truly would help them in the next game, right?
It would be nice. Yeah, it's something that you can look back and be like, okay, we made them bleed regardless. They beat us 6-2 or 6-1, whatever it ends up being. But we were good enough to get one.
My goodness.
But with the 7th going in, this is Carmine Corp's world, and we are all just living in it.
It's an absolute massacre in the Coliseum. This is horrible scenes for Team Liquid fans, but Carmine Corp will be having the time of their lives right now. And I wonder how much different their cams are, because they looked very frustrated when they had their tactical timeout. Now, are they still, is it that level of that frustration? Is that what they're channeling right now?
I think when Carmine Corp feel wounded, they strike with a sheer vengeance that very few teams are going to be able to deal with. And apparently, after a timeout for Carmine Corp, you know, the average was, doubling your goals roughly. Yeah. Carmine Corp score 175% more goals. They go sicko mode. And when they get to Brazil, at that, maybe that one goal isn't going to be quite as comforting as we thought it may be when it was just 6.
Yeah, the fact that it does turn it into a Brazil takes away any joy that Liquid could get from scoring that goal. I know that everyone in the community loves to see a Brazil, so many of you will be hoping that there are no more goals in the next 55 seconds, and history will say it was a 7-1.
The stats become more disgusting. They become more revolting. Including this game, Carmine Corp. It's going to be even worse now. Carmine Corp were, when I started this sentence, at plus 260% in goals scored after calling a timeout. They times their goals by 2.6, from 0.71 to 2.71. How are Carmine Corp so devastating?
This is when stats get a little bit skewed when a game like this
is the
makes it all a bit silly. A little bit silly. Credit to Liquid, they're continuing to twitch
208
bodies on the floor. Exotic might make it 9-1. This is just ridiculous. We might get double figures right here. Chronic is trying to spare some blushes of Team Liquid. I think their faces are entirely red by now. Everyone just seems to have let this one go. I mean, anything to add, Stumpy? Any thoughts? What can we possibly say about this game?
I mean, Carmine Corp are just well good. They're just well good. And that's
disagree.
I'd love to hear your argument, but we do not have enough time left in this series to get that, because we are now at 8-1, potentially a cheeky 8-2. Oh, Chronic, that's not the best in the world, is it, pal? Carmine Corp take it to 2-all in the series. We go to game 5 with a stomping to set the scene.
How do they recover? What do you say?
Timeout.
If you're in Team Liquid, right?
Timeout.
What do you say then? Maybe you just say nothing. Maybe you'll just go.
I let them think. I let them spew. I look at them and I say, "Iconic, mate. That shot at the end, mate.
I haven't seen time out yet, which is surprising.
Not going for the timeout. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. If they don't want to go for it, if they're not going to call the timeout, fair play. But my God, Liquid! If there's any time I feel to call a timeout, it's after getting 8-1'd.
Maybe they're happy with that. Maybe they're like, oh, that's pretty good. Let's just keep going.
As a well-fought 8-1. A very well fought 8-1 for Karmine Corp. Vatira nearly dropping a 1,000-point game.
Haven't seen one of them for a while, have we?
No, we've not. I am blown away with that turnaround that Karmine Corp had, because bear in mind, in that third game, we were saying, wow, Team Liquid, they won 3-1. What a crazy result. And they come out and they near triple the amount of goals that Liquid managed to get against them. A huge match for them. Wasteland is going to be our next location where, 2-2 in the series, we see who pushes on to get that championship point.
This is the beauty of each game in a Rocket League series being a nice little chunk in its own existence. You can lose 8-1. This is 0-0 again. All that matters is that the series is 2-2. So if you just wipe that entire slate clean, you can start from now if you're Team Liquid. Whereas KC, they can take all that happiness from the last game. They can keep pushing and make it 1-0 early. Smart finish from Itachi.
Breath being held, and a big sight at the end, I'm sure, for Liquid as 2 commit to it. Itachi flies very early, about 2 feet off the ground, and manages to tap it high. 16 seconds for their next goal.
Now you start to get really worried for Team Liquid, because they would have been saying, let's just keep it tight at the start of the next game, make sure we're actually involved in it. But they could go 2-0 down straight away here. Oh, what a save from Atto. Will that spur them into life?
Send everybody to that ball because you've got nothing to lose. A long shot flying in. Vatira clearing it from that top corner. Atto intercepting, and those little touches may well contribute and build up to frustrate KC when they can't work out their own half. Oski sees a Chronic, and Atto wants to come in for something special.
So close there. The fake in the air. The communication was good. The defending was just about enough there from Karmine Corp via the help of the crossbar. Exotic takes the touch. A Chronic is lingering, waiting, seeing what he's going to do. It's a Chronic that wins there. That might be going over the top of Vatira. It was good for a second. He set on his jump, though. A bit of pressure for Team Liquid. It's been a while since we've said that, Stumpy.
Yeah, Liquid definitely taking the most of the reset. Going down to that 0-0. Now ends up being, of course, that 1-0. But it's good opportunities. They're managing to find themselves on Liquid's side. Exotic saving away a fantastic shot. And again, Exotic. Oski can shoot. Vatira can save.
It's a great save, but there was so much goal to aim for, and he just pumped it at the only part that Vatira was already at. Slightly disappointing finish there, but Liquid have got to keep on going. KC, to their credit, have kept this one at 1-0 up. The clean sheet is still looking impeccable. Exotic puts it out wide where Itachi is waiting. Still 1-0. It's suddenly got nervy. It might be less so now for KC, but Itachi misses.
When you see a player flying that far, you have to think, how hard are you going to leather this into the net? And it's definitely trying to find that balance. A long shot, though. Vatira has to save it away because it is just wide, pinched above the crossbar. Anyone orange can find it? No, instead it's found to the corner by Exotic. Gone long, as now a Chronic in the opposite corner. He goes to the ceiling, bides his time, but Vatira says, nope, I am the man who controls that.
Vatira, whose team have made so many grand finals in a row, is so confident on Twitter. It means so much to him. He must want to be in that conversation for the GOAT. And with these teammates, he can win anything.
What a touch from Itachi. We said about how those orc touches do more. And just pipping it over the top of the final defender, setting up Exotic wonderfully. It is not a one-man team. It is a three-man band. And these goals are music to the Blue Walls' ears.
It's what they want. That's the level of play they want to strive for each and every time, Karmine Corp. It's Exotic's turn this time. Leads it to Itachi, though, in the end. Off the backboard. Good read from a Chronic. It's not an easy one to do, and that demo will give them a little bit of space. Good Team Liquid had done some good work before conceding that second goal. They have to build upon it.
Halfway through the game, and with 2 goals scored, Liquid find themselves trying to crawl something back. Flicked onto the backboard, but Oski doesn't have enough to continue it too far. And a Chronic didn't seem to have the ambition to want to go in and commit on that. He does not want to charge that net, just for the worry that their back line will become weak again, as it has done historically.
Just a little bit floaty there from a Chronic, but Atto was in the perfect place, so perhaps it's entirely what a Chronic was intending. But Team Liquid needing to do a little bit more than this. It's not looking particularly incisive from them, these plays.
Yeah, it seems like when we saw Liquid win that previous game, they were not playing catch-up. They were playing actively. They were taking control. You know, it was them who decided the pace of the play. But with passing plays in the center, Fartouch isn't able to come through. A through ball, unable to find another Liquid player. The double touch attempt, saved away by Atto. And you're right, the incisiveness for Liquid just not there as Karmine Corp. They are absolutely the ones who have got this game by the neck.
Yeah, just swamping Liquid's attack right now. Itachi, he's getting a blip reset and backflipping onto it. The improvisation is there for Karmine Corp. The smiles are back in their cast body language. Can change in a heartbeat, though. 1 or 2 liquid goals could affect that. And we did see yesterday for Carmine Corp, German Amigos came back from a couple of goal deficits. So KC will keep on pushing. Atto to the side, though. Beats Itachi. Itachi's chasing it, gets some boost, and leaves it for Vatira. All of this is taking seconds off the clock. Vatira there. And it's just incredibly clean rotations right now from Carmine Corp. You can sense the frustration from Liquid.
I think Liquid, they know they need something. They know they need that confidence bringer. That 1 goal they got previously to make it 8-1, I don't think did literally anything. I think if anything, saying, okay, we can score, and yet we conceded 8, isn't going to do them any good. Oski with a very low and poor touch, trying to drop it down to a Chronic who just was not in position at all. 30 seconds remains. The blue wall holding remarkably strong as Liquid just fail to make them crumble.
Their performance right now is reminiscent of Team BDS at the World Championships, where Liquid don't, in this game at least, look like they're playing particularly badly. It just looks like they are flat. And that's because anywhere they go, there is the blue wall. And when they do turn it on, they don't even need to smash it in. They'll keep prodding and playing with their food. They're enjoying themselves now, Carmine Corp. They want the better goals, the wonder goals. What they do want is a lead in the series. And when this ball hits the floor, they're going to get it. KC go within 1 of 2 tournaments in a row.
And Liquid called their timeout. The 8-1 wasn't enough. Instead, the 2-0 as they fall to the 3-2 scoreline is going to be that changing point for them. And this, my God, Exper, is where you earn your paycheck. How do you turn this Liquid team around to make them that dominant, speedy, expeditious, monstrous team that we know and love?
I feel like you're going to enjoy me saying this, Stumpy.
I'm ready.
I think that Team Liquid have to go absolutely all out, dumb plays, fast as anything, old school Team Liquid. If you give away an open goal at the other end, who cares, baby? Let's get ourselves some runaway goals.
I actually disagree. I think they need to go a lot more slow and measured. Go bananas, boys!
Hey,
Chuck everything at this. I mean, that's the way that you beat Carmine Corp. You sit back and you wait for those defensive moments, which is not what Liquid do. It's what Carmine Corp are forcing them to do. But if you find yourself in that position, yes, oh my word, is it horrible to try and work your way out of it. But you need to do that. You have to make sure that the opportunities that you take are ones that you are forcing. Carmine Corp will not give you an inch. You cannot take a mile with them.
We're going to go to Neo Tokyo, and we're going to have to see a much improved Team Liquid here. The mechanics that have been so effective for them this entire time. You know, even at the start of this series, Oski, you see him there, he was making Carmine Corp, at the very least, think about every touch and every play they made. But there's been nothing of that for the past couple of games. If they do lose this match, Stumpy, will they look back to not taking the timeout before the previous game as a mistake?
Sorry, I'm typing to our lovely statistician. I heard not a word of what you just said. Please repeat.
Should they end up losing this finals, will they turn back and look back at the last not taking a timeout and think we should have taken a timeout and that?
I think when you see the stats that timeouts really benefit a team by, you worded that wonderfully, by the way, sorry.
Thank you, thank you.
When you see how well teams can perform after timeouts, I think that's something that's either going to add that pressure to Liquid and make them think, okay, we should win this. And when they go down a goal, they're going to think, but we're not. Oh my word, we've got the opportunity. We're in that second place. Or they have had that talk. Expa has said to them, right, boys, throw everything. Don't just have a kitchen sink. Throw the entire kitchen at them.
Oski's large enough. A Team Liquid strong enough as a team to throw a kitchen right now at Carmine Corp. We shall see. Exotic, though. He's on all the control at the start. It could be a perfect beginning for Carmine Corp in this game. Neo Tokyo's already looking like theirs.
Neo Tokyo lights up with the colors of blue. As Exotic tapping that one down, finds Itachi, who can just poach so close to the net. They beat their record. 11 seconds they get the first goal in. Before it was 16. My God, they just get faster.
In the first split in full, they finished second twice in grand finals and won one of them. If they can win this series, they're already doing better than they did in Fallen, with Vatira going in and out of the opposition backboard. It's looking like they're feeling it right here, right now.
Chance, though, as Liquid attempts this push at the spearhead of Atto, carried on the backboard and then controlled by Exotic, sees it 50'd into that right-hand wall. Vatira up with only half boost, can still get the 50 central. Oski just has to clear that away, as in front of the net is exactly where KC are going to be most devastating.
Itachi Tachi's pass is a little bit in front, though, of where Exotic wanted it, and Team Liquid can come out. Remember, they're only 1 goal behind in this game. It's still well and truly alive. They just have to get their heads straight. Keep the communication up. Lovely pass there from Oski to Atto. What can you do with it? He's got the reset. He's going to take it. But Vatira, he can save as well.
Vatira waiting in the way. Free jumps him, shooting high on that one, but setting up potentially his teammate instead. Liquid can push down the other side, just flicks over one, but nothing to continue from it. And for Liquid fans, it is not good news when Karmine Corp score first, because they are first in Europe with an 87.5% win rate. They are incredible when they get that lead.
Because they can score double, or they can defend. They can do it all, this team. The spoken Team Liquid, they can send it forwards. Vatira, this is that one for now. Oski over the top, good idea. Exotic, though, always going to have that touch. And now a Chronic from the third man. This is looking like old school Team Liquid, where they can be so vulnerable to the counter-attack.
Expert's words are going to need to ring in their heads, though, because I'm sure he said, just be quicker, lads, give everything that you can. A Chronic wanting to be more mechanical, but Itachi waits, he's patient. He doesn't jump out on the wall too early. Instead, he just holds out and can get the clear away from the shot.
Karmine Corp just jabbing at Team Liquid. They keep him coming, but Liquid are starting to get a little bit more of a foothold in this game. And Chronic, another flip reset. He is the player that seems to have come most alive for Team Liquid. He wants this one. He wants that ball on his bonnet.
Definitely opportunities starting to arise. When you see Team Liquid push, you think, yeah, this really could be a goal now, instead of them just hitting it somewhere in the direction. Oski wanting to get the 50 there. Instead, Exotic goes a little bit lower and can clear it past, but Atto, the man to give the ball the orange trail that it's so needed. Vatira nearly over one, but just meets his death at the hands of a Chronic.
Oh, Oski's got one flip reset, and then he's pushed into the ball. The Chronic is the player coming in. Vatira, a little bit neutrally. Atto can do something here. Vatira, a couple of touches. It's actually out wide. Oski's just desperate for this ball, wants it to be his. Vatira, who's got the ball on a string, will not let that happen. He tees up Exotic, but it's saved by a Chronic.
Onto the backboard, but with nobody pushing up from Karmine Corp, and Vatira just waiting central. I thought that was a misplay from KC, but their patience, they know that Liquid just want to get these cleared quickly. A Chronic doesn't see where he's really putting that, and Vatira, from the midfield, is able to beat that ball 2-0 at 2:02, and KC well on their way to the double dub in winter.
We did say that Team Liquid had to shut everything at Karmine Corp, and that could leave gaps in their defense. When you're that desperate, when your opponents are playing this well, it's the sort of risks you need to take. But Karmine Corp, they have the intelligence to deal with that and survive. More than survive, flourish time after time, final after final, championship after championship, and maybe one day, LAN after LAN. But Team Liquid are showing signs of life themselves, who can't quite get in there in time.
Oski, though, onto this feeling. Can he get that double touch? With 90 seconds remaining, something needs to come out. A double, a single, anything for Liquid. Exotic, though, 15 it towards that mid. Finally, rolling in front of that orange side, and with no pressure, Atto can just send it long, but just giving that control back to KC isn't going to be winning them a goal. Vatira can air dribble it from his own half, gets that 50. Gets the flip reset, the double flip reset from Vatira onto Itachi. Nearly devastating. The final minute approaches.
Karmine Corp are just getting better and better as it goes. Liquid looking like they have no answer. Just one goal could bring some life into this one. It's not seeming like it's going to happen, though. Exotic squeezes the ball against the wall of Chronic. Can't do anything with it yet this game.
They find themselves so close together, and yet nothing can come out from it. Atto declining to pass on that opportunity, but with zero boost, there's no way he was going to score it himself. But Chronic now being challenged by Vatira and Itachi. What a devastating duo to come up against when they're staring down the barrel. Atto dribbling one, and that one just being a little bit too much for him. The bump nearly helping out Exotic too there. Itachi tries to cut in, but with 11 boost, he has to take it to the corner. Can't pick up that corner 100. The final 30. KC. That's all the time that stands between them and the double victories here in winter.
Just sending this ball high, making sure that Team Liquid can't do anything with it. Atto into the center, and look who's there. It's Exotic yet again. He's been flawless since being brought into this team. This is the trio that seem they're going to represent EU for a long time to come. Vatira almost thinks another double flip reset. It's not going to matter. It's attacking brilliance. It's defending just in spades, and it's another Rocket League masterpiece from Karmine Corp. They win the Winter Cup.
Congratulations again to the guys who just can do everything. The early challenges, going for these early shots and just terrifying Liquid into sitting back. Vatira stands up, he shrugs, the boys go, what we do? We do this. You know, those laughing emojis on Twitter from Rise, what do they mean now?
I think he's justifying them. Each one event is another laughing emoji that he can say, I earned that being put on Twitter. That going on social media is something that I can justify. Carmine Corp, head and shoulders above the rest of EU right now. You know, that's not even in conversation. 2 victories in a row for this team, and goodness knows how many finals. They just don't have any sort of gaps in their armor.
Liquid did a great job, though, pulling them to the point where they have to really change their game plan, forcing them to take that time out and reconsider how they were going to be attacking the series, and then coming off that timeout and getting 8-1 it's a silly result. They nearly tripled the amount of goals that they get pre and post timeouts. Carmine Corp, they are the team that will be looking to North America and seeing their real competition.
They even type confidently. Do you know what I mean? Look at that posture. That is a man who is pretty happy with his day's work right there. He does know. He does know the heart's barely even beating quickly. They've just won in Europe, you know?
It's gone to 61 BPM, Cole. He's going crazy.
He really is. Oh, man. Sublime goals from Carmine Corp. But they don't have to have sublime goals. They can just bundle it in if they have to.
But Carmine Corp, they are everything at the moment in Europe. Team Liquid, they did a great job getting to the grand finals. They went 17-3 until they got here, but 21 games later, and they are not able to take that dub. Carmine Corp with the win and the desk to break it down.
Thank you, Stumpy. What a surprising result we had there. Yeah, this was everyone thought it would be one-sided. You didn't want to count Liquid out, but it definitely was. I mean, it wasn't one-sided. It was a good battle, but K Corp is just proving to be too strong at Chiefs here.
It started good. You were like, okay, maybe we were all wrong. Maybe K Corp's not gonna absolutely dunk everybody. And then Shogun was like, nah. And he's like, watch this. They're still coming. You're dead right, buddy. Well done.
Look, I wish I could sort of like just cede the floor to CJ here. So I'm going to speak kind of sort of for him because he's completely right about this one. You just lost. What was it? 8-1. That the timeout needs to be done there. It might not have ended up meaning anything, but the fact that you've just seen a team score against you that many times and you don't want to just take their hands off the controller is, it's a weird decision for me. And I think after that happened, it was just all done. And congratulations, KC. The bar keeps getting raised.
Chiefs, we're like, yeah, this is just what they do now. They just win, right? But they're still ecstatic. I'm looking at, again, Vatira tweeting again, let's go, regional champion. Oh my gosh, ha ha ha. Like, they're excited. He's ecstatic about these wins stuff.
Yeah, and they should be. I mean, it's not easy to sit there on the top. As you've seen, there have been plenty of teams who have been on top before, and to stay on top is really difficult. And so you're allowed to be excited. You've earned it.
Well, let's talk to the team now. Johnny has Eversax on the line.
Eversax, congratulations on yet another regional win, the 3rd regional victory for the team this season, the 5th grand final regionally in a row. Your immediate thoughts after an incredible achievement.
Thank you very much, and I'm really happy because we didn't enter the game very well, but we found the key to beat them. We applied it and it worked really good, so I'm really glad we could bounce back from the first games.
Yeah, Team Liquid were winning 2-1 after 3 games. So game 4, I think 8-1 or something. What happened? How did you guys turn the series around in such convincing fashion?
To be honest, we wanted to play our game plan and it wasn't working. So I just told them if they want a bull chase, let's just bull chase better than them. And we started going on everything and it seemed to work.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just ball chase better is the counter to ball chasing. But really, you guys look so calm before both of the matches today, before the semi, before the final. You look like you're having so much fun. How do you guys keep such a positive team atmosphere under all this pressure?
I think a key to that is we are all together in bootcamp and we are really good friends. And it's really helping for the mentality because we're always joking around. And so I think if one of us maybe feels pressure, it just goes away because everyone is on a good mood, making jokes and chilling.
Now, I've got to ask, Vatira has been praised by many recently, as best player in the world, potentially. I think rightfully so. I think he's been incredible. But I don't think it's actually an Exotic have had enough praise directed at them. So maybe can you explain for all those who don't seem to understand what makes this team so great? Can you tell them from the coach what is so great about Itachi and Exotic? Why do they work so well alongside Vatira?
I think like Itachi and Exotic are really doing a good work at like opening field for Vatira on the field, and he's able to do solo plays and shine. But I think if you watch all the games, some games like it's Exotic doing crazy stuff, some games it's Itachi. I like to see us more like as a team effort, and I think we are dominating at the moment because of our game plan and the way we play as a team and not individually.
Now, finally, over in North America, Gen G have been doing pretty well. I know that the players like to focus on what they're doing, but do you as the coach keep an eye on what's happening elsewhere, see, okay, maybe what's working for them over there? They've had, a pretty dominant run. You guys have one up them, though, 5 regional finals in a row. Pressure's on them to repeat it. But what do you think of them? What do you think of the rest of the world? You guys have dominated Europe. Can you do that on the world stage?
Yeah, I think we couldn't show what we wanted at the Rotterdam Major, but I'm pretty sure next one will be more prepared. And yeah, I'm always watching RLCS, and I'm watching Gen G close because I think they're also like winning because of a team effort and not individual playstyle. So it's really good to see like maybe our twins like doing the same, but on another region. Sorry. So I'm really excited if we can play them in San Diego.
I think we would all love to see that. Well, today though, you've done it again. We'll find out in a couple of weeks if you can go 3 for 3. But thanks for talking to us, Eversax. Congrats again on the win, and be sure to tell the players congrats from me and from all of us, because yeah, they deserve it.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Team is, I think, a team that you can't just have, again, solo players, as he said there. And they're showing why that works, why all 3 players are important to this mix by continually getting these wins over and over again. Shogun, K-Corp, definitely the, I guess, maybe counterpart that we're seeing to Gen G in North America. I would absolutely love to see these 2 match up.
I feel like they know just as well as we do that, and we keep repeating this isn't where the questions lie for this team. It will not be. And no matter what happens from the next regional, we will all be judging KC of what we see at the San Diego Major. They've qualified for it. Now it's time to see what's going for them. I do remember hearing from them previously that having the crowd and that KC lot all behind them there was, maybe a bit difficult and a bit much to try and get used to. I don't think San Diego is going to be quite the same vibe, so maybe it actually helps.
Yeah, much less homerism down there in San Diego for them, I think. But I'm still looking forward to seeing them perform there.
Yeah, look at that. Achieves a clinch there for Karmine Corp. These guys are they're looking good. They're they're ready. The train's not going to stop. They still have another regional to get through, but for San Diego, they at least can breathe a little easy.
But it creates a disaster. That next regional is going to be quite something. As here we take a look at the season points for all of Europe, and K-Corp comfortably at the top. So as we steadily plod along towards the World Championship, Karmine Corp, you couldn't ask for a better start. But we've seen this. It happened with NRG. They do so well. They sit so comfortably. And yeah, it gets them towards Worlds, but it's a long way to go because there's no guarantee that just because you're playing well in this split and the previous ones, no guarantee the last one goes your way either. So got to keep on the grind if you're K-Corp.
Yeah, you said, I can't get it through my head right now that you're like, oh yeah, good start. This is the halfway point for the European region for the season.
Yes.
Like, we're already.
You're not done yet.
We're halfway through, but yeah, there's lots to go, including San Diego, that major coming up for winter. I remind you, what's coming. Are you already thinking it? Tickets, get them. I have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to stop. Get your tickets and join us. In San Diego,
for a long
it's
time,
always
I was not aware that was a rhetorical question. I was trying to figure out if you were asking me or Chiefs.
What do I got to do?
Was I not the only one there, Chiefs? Okay, good.
No. I was waiting for it. The good thing is I've been on CRL long enough, and I've heard enough random plugs from Corelli that I realized it.
You know what would really help out of that? If I could stare across from you at, let's say, San Diego, that would be brilliant.
I honestly, being compared to Corelli's ticket selling abilities is, even in the slightest, is amazing. So thank you for that. I don't think I'm close to it.
Just stop pointing at things. Like, that's how he sells stuff.
Yes.
Point is, get your tickets. Join us in San Diego. Exclamation point tickets in chat to get. I think it's being spammed right now. So click on that link, get your tickets, or just if you really, really want to do all the work yourself, type in rl.gg/winter major tickets live into the URL. Get over there, buy your tickets. So you can join in some awesome Rocket League. But that does end us here for the European Cup. Let's get some final thoughts as we leave out and get prepared for the next regional here. We'll start with Shogun. We'll go down the line.
Really happy that we've got a lot of to play for when it comes to the final few spots. But massive shout out for Liquid. Obviously, we've spent this entire time talking about how amazing KC were, but this was the most complete performance. I would say that when we saw them win a regional, it was great. It was like we saw you guys can peak, but this weekend we saw that the floor has been risen massively for them, and that will give you so much long-term success, which is needed in a game like this one.
Yeah, well played, Liquid. Excellent showing, and of course, well done, K Corp. Keep the train rolling, and everybody else. We'll see you next week for NA.
Across the board, lots to be had. North America will, of course, we'll kick off 12:30 Eastern for the pre-show, 1 o'clock for games. We first touch CRL. There's always so much going on the channel. You may as well leave the tab open so you don't miss out on anything. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. The European Cup is done, and we'll see you very soon.
Before school's gotta get worse, and sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that bad, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're strong than you show it. You're brave
back of the net off of a monumental double. Getting away and gets a save. Not going to be in the end of the offense, though, as Kinsey sends one to the backboard. Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple touch. You said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! This time, fire! Try to clear this away. Landing call to put them at the picked up the steam. It's still there for Jim. He scored!